that drama. I whoop that ass like Michael Obama. Yeah, I got that big D energy. Ain't nobody wanna step to me. And if you really wanna bring that drama, I'll whoop that ass like Michael Obama.
No, Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay.
I whip that beat out like Michael Obama.
We already have it with
I got that
Obama.
big
So
energy.
let's just calm down.
Nobody wanna step to me. And if you really wanna bring that drama, I whip that ass like Michael Obama. I'm a girl, 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 I'm a whip them thing out like Michael Obama. I got that big energy. Ain't nobody wanna step like me. And if you really wanna bring that drama, I'll whip that ass like Michael Obama. Ain't got that clip, bitch. Hung like a llama. I'll whip that dick out like Michael Obama.
White shirt, a silver bone, Rothschild mansion, creepy halls behind every door, a cloaked body. Don't you know this is Illuminati? That we put the naughty in Illuminati. We expose the hot bodies of Illuminati. That we put the naughty in Illuminati. Mind control of your soul, of that body.
Are you ready to reveal all there is to see? Esoteric secrets revealed in all of their glory. The Illuminati series from Paranoid American. Putting the naughty in Illuminati. More details at paranoidamerican.com.
American stickers, cryptids, cults, and killers. We got all your favorite conspiracies, all of that and more on our sticker sheets. Paranoid American stickers, they'll make you smile and snicker. False flags and secret societies, all of these and more on our sticker sheets.
Explore the unique with Paranoid American sticker sheets. Unearth tales of cryptids, cults, and mysteries through each sticker. These won't last long. Get yours now at paranoidamerican.com.
We're all American stickers, cryptids, cults, and killers. We got all your favorite conspiracies, all of that and more on our sticker sheets. Paranoid American stickers, they'll make you smile and snicker. False flags and secret societies, all of these and more on our sticker sheets.
What the heck are you waiting for? Discover the extraordinary with Paranoid American sticker sheets. From cryptids in the night to cults out of sight, each sticker is a unique find. Get yours now at paranoidamerican.com.
Save us, Britney Spears! Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
Constantly explore the view of possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys. up yourself, good guys. Welcome to Sunday night's episode. We're so lucky that you're here. We're so lucky that we're here. How are you ladies doing?
I'm doing all right. Not bad. I'm all right.
Not bad. Not
Not,
bad.
not bad.
Hanging in
I'm
there.
chill.
Yeah.
Chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a good beach day.
You beached today? You look sun kissed.
Yeah, beached it. I needed to. Like, I needed to sit with Mother Water and just like soak it all up, the sun, the elements, the quartz crystal sand.
I think the beach is one of the very few times that a human gets all 5 elements around them. And then maybe even elements they don't talk about as much as they should, like salt. So you get like the fire of the sun, the wind, the water, the earth. It seems pretty perfect.
And driftwood sometimes too. So if you're doing the Chinese medicine, then that's one of the elements, wood and metal.
Yeah.
Driftwood, Chinese driftwood. What's the specialty
I'm
about
just saying driftwood. Nothing special about driftwood in particular. I'm just saying that you could add that to the elements you get at the beach sometimes.
It would still be earth, but it's
Yeah, it
extra
is earth.
special wood, if it's salted and dehydrated. Petrified.
Mm.
Is your family
love
about to make you
driftwood.
lose it today, Layla?
No comment. No comment.
This is the
This
place
is why my
we.
gallbladder is not working correctly or something.
So what's going on? You're having gallbladder issues?
I think so, because it ain't liver, because no jaundice, no like splotchiness. Like, I think it's gallbladder because, oh my lord, it's been like months and it's just like.
That
Yeah.
spot
Yeah.
is your spleen. Your gallbladder is between your shoulder blades.
Are you sure?
Like, I'm positive. I know the pains that people experience and where they're at. That is your spleen right there where you're touching.
The right side?
Oh no, it's your left side. Are you mirrored?
Yeah, this is my right side.
Then behind your liver, it's your liver, but you haven't been drinking. Even though you happen to drink this weekend, you're not typically
Yeah,
a
no.
drinker.
No, I'm not.
And even though you kind of eat like but you don't eat bad overall, like enough to affect your liver. But your gallbladder, if it really starts to hurt, it's gonna be like a knife between your shoulder blades.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that. No, it's like
On
a
your-
knife in here. Brr.
Your
It
stomach
sometimes
and
goes
your
into the back. Like, it
Oh,
goes
yeah,
sometimes
that's
in there.
that. Then it's your gallbladder. Once you feel it irradiate around to the back, and
Yeah.
it's gonna get worse, and it'll start radiating up until eventually it's a stab between your shoulder blades. It's like where the nerves all ride out for your gallbladder.
Making sense.
And you don't typically drink a ton of soda, which that is like they would usually say like that stuff in soda, but a thing that would be shit for it would probably be Turkish coffee. Like
Ooh.
that might add into that aggravation.
You know, you may be onto that because
Turkish coffee and fatty foods. Those would be the 2 things that I would tell you anytime you ate something extra greasy, you're going to have gallbladder issues. But none of the things I'm talking about are gallstones. I'm just talking about people I know that have had to get their gallbladder removed. But for some reason, our age generation, it's like kids' wisdom teeth. They want our gallbladders.
Like, why?
I don't know.
Oh,
What the
I can go
fuck?
into this big time.
Do it,
because I've done a
Abby.
lot of
Go
research. I've
into
done a
it.
lot of research on the gallbladder. Okay, so well, first of all, gallstones, they tell you cannot pass them. And I used to have gallbladder attacks really bad, and I'd have them right in the center. Like, so where you get it, it just depends. But the thing is that you can actually pass them by taking the problem is a lot of the problem dietary wise is that people have gone to eating low fat. Like in the 90s, remember when everything was non-fat? You could buy non-fat everything, and everybody went through the whole non-fat, fat is bad, fat is horrible for you. Well, that actually did a freaking cost a major toll to our gallbladders, because the purpose of the gallbladder is to produce bile. Bile helps break down fats. It helps the liver. It aids the liver. So if we don't have this bile and everything, if we're not producing it because we're not eating fats, then it gets sludgy and it causes stones inside the gallbladder. So the issue isn't necessarily eating fat, though fat will make it hurt because it's all of a sudden wanting to do its job, but it's kind of clogged. So The thing is that you can actually pass gallstones. They say it's risky because, you know, if one gets lodged in there, um, then you might have to have your gallbladder, like, removed, but for me, it was worth a try. So, you take, like, a tablespoon of olive oil, and you just put a little bit of lemon juice in it, and the lemon juice is really just so that way it cuts the flavor a little bit, it just helps it go down a little bit smoother. You
Yeah.
do that times a day, and you will pass gallstones, and some people say, "Oh, you know, the little things that you're seeing in the toilet are not gallstones, they're just, like, lumps of fat." Well, I've never seen olive oil coagulate.
Mm-mm.
Not like butter. It's not the same thing. It doesn't do that. So at body temperature, it should still remain a liquid, not a solid.
Mm.
So what you're passing is the actual gallstones because after I did it, guess what? Never had an issue again. But the other issue with the gallbladder is that um, a lot of us have emotion back to the whole Friday episode where we're talking about emotion is something that we're not really supposed to it's not supposed to be internal, it's external, right? It's energy and motion. So it's supposed to move through us. And people who have liver and gallbladder issues generally tend to be very angry, and they have a lot of anger that they haven't dealt with. So, anger, when you trap it in your body, gets stuck in your gallbladder meridian, and and it will fuck up your gallbladder. But you'll also the gallbladder meridian runs along your whole entire side, both sides. So if you're having issues like on any point in your body, or if your dreams show you a point on your body on the sides, it's letting you know, your body's letting you know because we think that Chinese medicine is like bullshit hoodoo stuff, you know, like, but really your body knows it. Your body knows this chart, even though your brain doesn't know it because it's true. It's the real science, y'all.
Yeah.
So
Is your
if you have
shoulder
a lot of
hurting?
I mean, I always think it's because I slouch and that my shoulders always hurt, like my neck. But like,
No, this
I'm
that's
is
just
a
the
like,
result
one
of
thing I know for like your left side. If you get that shoulder pain, it will be like your spleen or you like some organ in your body on your left side, your stomach, part of your pancreas, something over there is swelling so bad it's hitting a nerve. On your right side, it's your liver or your gallbladder, and it swells so big it hits this nerve, and the nerve comes up right through your clavicles into your shoulder blades. And
right in
so,
here.
yeah, it feels
Yeah.
like you laid on your side too long and you're like, is my clavicle weird into my shoulder? Like at
Yeah.
first you think you like threw a ball wrong or something. And then it starts being such like the pain radiates so bad in there. It's like something chewing on the nerve. And you're like,
Fascinating.
I know I didn't sleep weird. I know I didn't do anything. I know it's not my clavicle. I know it's not this. It's like your organ itself is so swollen inside, it's pinched between another organ.
Nerve.
It's
Yeah.
pinched this nerve, and that we feel it in our shoulder blades, or I mean,
Oh,
our shoulders.
yeah. Interesting. Like last night, I knew something was definitely wrong because I got angry last night and walked home and I was yelling and screaming and I just went off. I'm not going to call out names of who it was, but anyway. And on my
I'm
way,
not gonna name names.
yeah, but I swear, like I couldn't walk and I couldn't breathe. And it's a 5-minute walk from my house to this place. And I was walking home and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I was like, maybe my anger triggered it or something. And like all day
it
today, I
will.
was like, yeah.
It'll do that. It's anger, and if you have a lot of stored anger that you have never freaking let out and yelled and screamed about,
Mhm.
then that's just, like, compounding the issue. So you were yelling and screaming last night, which is good, you're getting rid of some of the anger, but if you
It
have a lot of
triggered it.
anger that you're not coping with because you feel like you can't, then it'll definitely you're just compounding the problem.
I don't trust the doctors, but I need to like get it checked out. Like I got major trust issues with the medical industry, but I gotta get over that, I guess, or something.
You just have to
True
find
world?
someone you trust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Like, you
true.
just have to find your person that you trust. Like, I love my nurse practitioner and I'm so grateful for her. Like, if not for her, I wouldn't have been able, because you have to keep whatever you decide is your path that you have to take for your healing. You have to think it's the best path.
Yeah,
Like, mentally, you have to think it's the best path for you. Otherwise, you're doing yourself like a disservice.
yeah.
So, um,
I'll be
I
I'll be all right.
Well,
I'll be all
something
right.
else like, like fried food and processed food and red meats and soda. And I would wonder if also if alcohol could be like bothersome to it because you don't normally drink, but you did drink this weekend.
And the
Could it
week
have
before that, yeah.
like
It
could
is
that
because
have
the liver and
irritated?
gallbladder go hand in hand. They work together.
Uh,
So yeah, for
Interesting.
sure. Because
Well, I'm not
liver
drinking
breaks down
anymore.
alcohol.
I'm not gonna do that. No, even though it was fun. That was a fun episode. Layla drunk on Secret Society of Good Guys.
You didn't seem drunk.
I was
You just
fucked up.
seemed buzzed. You just seemed buzzed. You seemed,
Yeah,
yeah, you just seemed chill. Little
yeah,
Friday night action.
yeah. But that's my drunk. I'm like very chill, very like happy and talkative and da 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 da.
That's what I'm a fun drunk too. I realize when you're a fun drunk, no one will ever tell you have a drinking problem.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, if people want you to stop drinking, it's because you suck drunk.
Yeah, that's
Otherwise,
true.
all your friends are like, "Come on, just have a drink with us." So yeah, well, gallbladder suck fest. On the other side of that, Abby, you went into a float tank today.
I
Ooh.
did. It was awesome. I felt like I was in my mother's womb. It was wild.
So for those of you who don't know what a float tank is, it's like a sound deprivation chamber, and there's all different kinds of them. Some of them are capsules, some of them are rooms. They have stand-up closet versions of them, but you shut yourself in a thing that usually has a little over or around 8,000 pounds of salt in it, and so your body floats right on the surface of it. And they usually set it at about 92.6 degrees. That's usually the surface temperature of our skin, dependent on the person. You can get it adjusted. And then the air temperature becomes 92.6 degrees. So the water, the surface of your skin, and the air all become the same temperature. It's
Wow.
so black in there, you can't see anything. And it's all the way closed off of sound. So you lay right on the top. And eventually, even though you're in this little capsule, you feel like you're just floating in infinity and you're
Mm.
Yeah.
actually weightless, which is something that humans don't ever really, you think, oh, I've laid in a comfy bed before, but you haven't. And so
Yeah.
anyways, Abby,
You have like no, there, I mean, none of your muscles have to operate because there's no, you have no reason to stabilize your body. You're just stable. So, like, it's very comfortable. Unless you get salt water in your eyes, which I did like right at the beginning, so I was able to like use a little squirt bottle and get it out, but that stings pretty good.
I wanted to give you tips. I wanted to tell you, but it's like you don't want to ruin it. It's like a drug. You have to be like a careful shaman. I hear people give too much detail about this is what happened to me and almost ruin it for somebody else because you're infiltrating them with what you think their trip should be like. So I was going to tell you, don't put any of it on your face
Yeah.
just
Oh
in
yeah.
general, because as it dries, it tickles. And when you're trying to like, you'll start to meditate and then you're like, is something crawling on me? And you're like, nothing's crawling on me. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's just the water like dripping off your belly or something. Um, but did you hear, like, what did you experience?
I had a lot of visuals, but they weren't okay. So I felt like it was going to be like the liminal state, like right before you fall asleep. And um, anybody who's like a dreamer has probably experienced this, but it's where you like lay down to go to sleep, and before you're even asleep, like you can be aware of everything happening in your house, and your eyes are just closed, and all of a sudden you're having dreams. So like actual, but they're so vivid, like I could actually tell you like people's faces that I've never met before. Like I had this Native American woman like looking me right in the eyes, um, and different or nonsensical things like hippos with like white picket fences and stuff like that, just like,
Oh
"What the
wow.
fuck?" Yeah, but it's, like, so visual. So the I expected it to be that visual, and some of it sort of was, but it wasn't quite that visual, but it was very similar. But it like, usually the liminal state only lasts a couple minutes because then you do fall asleep. But, yeah, I was awake pretty much the whole time, and, yeah, at one point, I didn't know if my eyes were open or not, and, I don't know, I remember laughing. I remember seeing my son, and he was talking to me in there, and then I laughed, and I heard myself audibly laugh out loud. So, Like, I don't remember everything, though. That's the things I don't like, it's almost more vague than a dream.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, I had a lot of cool experiences happen,
Yeah.
but what was tripping me out was breathing. Like, I was so comfortable that, like, I don't know how long it was, like, every once in a while, I all of a sudden, I'd remember, "Oh, shit, I gotta breathe," and then I'd take a breath. So, it was so weird. I was like, "Is that, like, sleep apnea?" Because I know I wasn't asleep, but, like, I just wasn't breathing, and then all of a sudden, I remember to breathe.
I wonder what state it puts you in. Like,
I
It says you can
wonder
get
if
down to
you have
theta.
sleep apnea.
That's what I'm saying. I'm wondering if that is a sleep apnea thing, but I wasn't sleeping, but it makes me think maybe I do because it's like every once in a while I'd remember to breathe.
huh.
I didn't want to tell you this part at all, but every time I got kind of addicted to floating when I was welding, just because my body would be in like one position for so long, sometimes like crunched up and like staring at a bright light. I had to like undo it with darkness and stretch my body all the way out. So in Oregon, I would float all the time. And so I tell people, make sure you get a room that is only yours. Get a private room. They have float tanks that are all in a room with other people, but you can't really relax because sometimes in your meditative state you get bright lights or you get sensations that it feels like somebody opened your door, and you don't even want to think that, because a lot of them you go into naked, you don't even want
Yeah.
to think that somebody just opened your door up. You want to totally relax. So I didn't want to ruin it at all for you. At least an hour, if you can, an hour and a half. A lot of float places will allow an hour and a half, and a lot of float tank places are open 24 hours a day. So even if,
Really?
yeah, if you find like if you're like a person that you're like, I need a 3 a.m. float, there's usually a place that you can go and float. And dependent on how woo woo the town, like Oregon, there's tons of float tank places. In Florida, there's like 4 in the entire state.
Oh,
Like
yeah, so there probably isn't one here.
there might be one around you, like where you have to drive like an hour.
Yeah, probably.
But like I have to drive an hour to get to one in Florida. But Oregon, I could, if you were like, oh, we're booked today, I could call 5 other float tank places.
Mm.
But when my float tank, I would say to friends, like, the only thing that bothers me about the float tank is when they turn the filter on, I always feel like a snake's crawling in sand under me. And they were
Really?
like, what? No filter turns on.
No. It turns on at, like, when you get out, like, the one I did, it turns like, they turn on a pump or whatever when you get out, so the
It
water
was
is
an
completely
actual,
still.
like, for me, once I hit my meditative state,
Yeah.
it was like my kundalini waking up almost, where it was
Yeah.
like, like a snake crawling up me. Like, but it freaked me out, almost like I could hear a snake under, you know how when you put your ears under the ocean, when the waves are going, you can hear the sand all move? That's what I felt like I
Yeah.
could hear. And it was a
Mm.
snake like crawling in sand, and I could hear it. And it would always shock me out of but that was probably me almost falling into sleep from my meditative state.
Or it is your kundalini rising, and,
Oh, could
you
be.
know?
You're
Mm.
actually
I've got
taller when you get out.
Oh, wow. Shoot. I
Everything
need to do that
becomes,
before
yeah, everybody
I
is
compete.
unaware of how much, no pun intended, whether it's gravity, density, whatever, the world breaks us down. Like we carry so much weight on every bone and every cartilage and every tendon. And even when you're laying flat on your back, all the skin of your back has to carry the weight of all the rest of you. All the muscles have to carry the weight of you, regardless of how you are. But in a float tank, you don't have to carry any of that. So everything becomes uncompressed.
Mm.
And you're actually, some people I think have gotten out and been like an inch and a half taller, like floating all the
Oh,
time.
shit.
I don't need that. I'm already tall.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm doing it again, and I'm like, if I get 6 referrals, I get a free float. So, y'all, if you're in Tulsa, go to H2 Oasis and give them my name.
Abby.
Well, you're actually going to be using this. I'm glad you brought it up, because I was like, this is something for your life coaching and body coaching and everything you're going to help people with, that I believe float tanks are such a great tool when you're trying to learn how to meditate. And when you're in, meditating is part of self-caring. It doesn't matter your religious belief. Like being able to sit with yourself and your thoughts or lack of thoughts is a big, huge thing of self-care. And so some people, when they can't do that at all, and when they get ants in their pants because they can't sit by themselves, a float tank is a perfect place to start. And so I feel like you could start using it as a tool in your coaching for
Yeah.
your
Oh, yeah.
clients.
Because it is meditation. I was able to do a lot of things. Like I actually went in. I was actually like looking inside your body, Chaney. I was like doing a healing for you, and
Oh, thank you.
you're welcome. And then I was checking in
Hi.
on other people, and I actually confirmed what they were doing, so that's cool. And then we decided what we would try the remote viewing thing, and I was supposed to go to the Sphinx,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you what I saw, okay? Because I was
Tell
like, at
me,
first,
because I'll tell you what I saw at mine up, and I did not do well.
okay, well, I got up there and we talked about an envelope and with a number. So the number I saw on it was 31833. See, I remember all this really clearly. But then it didn't turn into anything. I couldn't figure out what it was. So I kind of like my mind went all the other places and had all these hallucinations and visions and stuff. And then when I went back to it,
Say the
I
number
was,
again. 31833.
yep.
Okay. I just want to see if it's a grab-a-boy number.
Okay. So then I am on top of the Sphinx and I'm on its head. And all of a sudden I see a phoenix and a serpent. So that's what I saw.
That's way bigger and
A
more
phoenix
in
and a
depth.
serpent?
Yeah, the phoenix was like on fire and it was floating right above it. And then the serpent, it was like it was our serpent.
Huh.
The S.
It wasn't either of you, so I can tell you this. So, in my napping adventure, where I was supposed to make it to the Sphinx and drop off numbers, this is why you didn't get the right numbers. One, I couldn't decide in my own brain the numbers that I was supposed to drop off. I couldn't decide, so I wrote down both of the numbers, and then I got the numbers mixed up in my head because they were 3 digits apiece, and then I got them all mixed up with each other, and I kept texting myself different numbers. So I never decided before I fell asleep on it was between 2, but it was whatever, a dance of numbers. And then I was sitting with a friend, like I don't know where we were for some reason. It was, when you play paintball again with people, how you sit in these like almost like you're in a den or something, but you're like, okay, we're in this mission, but it doesn't feel like it's that dangerous, but we're still on a team. This is what my dream was. And I was sitting next to a friend, and it was like, okay, you're going to run that way. I'm going to run this way. Almost like we were playing capture the flag or something. And it was just like, okay, you got this. You got this. Okay. Got it. Got it. And then we kissed. And I was like, well, I wasn't expecting it even in my dream, and they weren't expecting it either, but we were both like, fuck it. And then we were just like, let's kiss and see what it's like. We're already here. And so then we just kissed in the dream, and then we just carried on with like whatever game of capture the flag we were playing. But it was so awkward. It was awkward even in my dream of like, whoa.
I did that, but I was sword
supposed to
fighting.
happen.
Yeah, I was sword fighting with a dude and I was a man. And then I was like, dude, do you want to just stop this? Let's just make out. And he's like, okay. And yeah, it was really good. I was
Yeah,
like,
it
why
was
is
a
this
good
better than
kiss.
when
I
it's
was
women?
surprised. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
I've never had
this
a
wasn't
dream like
supposed to
that.
happen at all. And it was like, how some dreams you have forethought of what the dream's gonna do next? Like you're like
Yeah.
directing it as you're in it. I didn't end this. It was like, okay, we're gonna run over there and you're gonna go that way and you're gonna okay, we're kissing. Oh. And we looked like, whoa, we just kissed. And it was like, that wasn't that bad. Like that, like our heads thought that was all right. We might as well just finish that out. And then we finished the
Yeah.
kiss.
Yep. I've had that dream version of it.
And I woke up this morning with remember the Drake, that I'm upset. 50,000 on my head is disrespect. That's what I woke up with in my head this morning.
Wait, where do you say that?
That it's just that Drake song where it's like, I got a lot of blood and it's cold.
Oh yeah.
People
Okay,
try
So
to
you're
take
waking
me
up with
for
songs
so-
now too, huh?
Woo! I never not. I'm the OG.
Okay, I do too. I wake up with a new
songs
song
in
every
my
day.
head
I forgot
before
what
you
my
guys were
morning song was
born.
today. I do. I wake up with a new one every day, and then the song But I did get a song while I was in the float tank right before I was done, and it was Journey, "Don't Stop Believing" or whatever. I don't know if that's what
Don't
it's called.
stop
And I'm
believing.
like, I'm not a Journey fan, so it was just random. It was weird.
I'm not a karaoke person, but I've sang that in karaoke before.
Oh.
We used to have this game, me and my friends. It makes it more fun if you're ever gonna go do karaoke. You aren't allowed to pick your song. Your friend has to
Oh,
pick the
shit.
song for you.
Oh God.
So one of
Y'all
my
better pick
friends
a song I can sing.
well, no, that's kind of the funny thing. So you just get on stage. They're like, "Okay, coming to the stage, it's Chaney, and she's about to sing." I'm like, "Oh fuck!" And it's like, "Journey, don't stop believing." And you think you know all the words. Like now, I know all the words of that song. It became a hipster cool song again, and everybody learned it. But then when it happened to me, I did not know all the words of the song like I thought.
I don't do karaoke. I've done it once and I'm like, never again. And the song was strumming my pain with his finger. And it wasn't alone. It was with another girl. I can't do it. I don't have the balls.
Girl, my friend decided to put my name in with her, and it was like En Vogue. And I'm like, girl, I'm a freaking alto. I don't sing freaking high ass En Vogue shit, soprano shit.
I always do.
Karaoke with you guys one day, just for fun. Do the song from Sex and the City. We are
Oh,
strong. We are women.
I would make
Na, na,
Layla
dun,
do,
dun,
"I
dun.
believe in a thing called love. Just listen to the rhythm of my heart."
I love that song. I love that song.
I don't know why. Ooh.
Gordy just said in the chat, "I'm serious, Abby. Same song today. I hate Journey." Period. So maybe
But we
that was
all
you
can
putting that
admit
in my head, Gordy.
Steve Perry has the voice of an angel. That's the lead singer of
He
Journey.
does.
I don't know who that is.
Lead
Yeah,
I'm
singer of
terrible.
Journey.
Journey.
I know. I am kind of a karaoke person without being a karaoke person. Like I hate karaoke and I'm not the person that you really invite to karaoke, but I like a stage. Like the stage and people being on it and like I don't care what they're up to up there. I
Yeah.
just like it in the background. I like Vegas lounge singers or we can have a conversation while they're up to something.
Yeah.
I don't mind, but I won't go. I don't like going to karaoke places. Like if it's karaoke night, I don't want to be there. It has to be
Josie's
like
on a
we're on a cruise.
vacation far away. Come around and talk it over. Real Ryan brought up that lyric. Different song, but I love that song. The Outfield. That's one of my favorites.
I hear it all the time at work. My chef's
Love it.
playlist is like all like 80s, 90s. Yeah, 80s and 90s
The best of
music.
80s, 90s, and today.
Mhm.
Oh, you do have a radio voice. That was sexy.
I know all the radio voices are all that kind of like Delilah. Do you love someone tonight? Are you or they're the
What are
quiet
you
storm?
wearing?
The quiet storm.
Yeah, the quiet storm that we're kind of having right now in the world. Low key World War III vibes.
Y'all, you know how we were saying that like you guys were all like how many end of the worlds have I lived through in my lifetime? Like when this eclipse was coming and everyone was acting all big, you're like, I feel like this is Y2K or shit all over again. That's how I feel about World War III. I feel
Yeah.
like they've been trying. What kind of marketing do you need to have WW in front of your war? Think of the quote unquote wars they try to get us to be scared of every day, all over the world. Korea, North Korea in a war. That's not World War III. It
Yeah.
has to have just a certain people and it has to be part of one part of the world to have World War III. And so now there's like, oh, everyone's talking about Blue Beam. And I'm like, what makes anyone how do we know any of the missiles being shot of the fireworks and the pictures are real? Can't
That's what I'm
all
saying.
like all this seems like a loosh. And here's the other thing I'll really say that I want to remind everyone in short attention span theater out there. Anytime you hear Iran brought up, you have to remember the name General Soleimani and
Mhm.
how the Congress was so upset that a certain president didn't let them know that he was going to kill General Soleimani, who was an Iranian who was hiding in Iraq, and he had the key to the missile defense system. And then he ended up dead. And Pelosi was so pissed All the Congress was so pissed because they're all dirty and they've been setting up this War III for decades. And
Yeah.
so all of a sudden, General Soleimani dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So,
where I
so
think he's like
yeah,
the key player. He's not there anymore.
it's like they took out the character to start out the World War
Yeah.
III.
That's what I think.
And
They've
it's
taken
part
it's like
of
the time traveler came back and took out the characters that would have been the characters that we needed now to carry on the story,
yeah.
but they're not around.
That's why I think, in a sense, it could be fake, or it could be Netanyahu bombing his own country. Because I saw the airports. Why would the chosen people leave their fucking country now? Like, the airports are full of like Israelis like leaving, but you're chosen people of the land, so why would you leave? Like,
Unless think mirror, and where are they going?
America.
And so what if the real Israel, where the chosen people were supposed to come back to, is not where they're telling you?
No.
And they're all coming back to, I don't know, where I would gander that it's either Florida or New York that has the biggest Jewish population in the world,
Yeah.
not Israel.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you on that.
in part of their end time prophecy game of having their World War III, because there has to be 3 world wars in the Notre Dame thing, but it has to be marketed by the right people to have the WW in front of it first, so it fits the Bible prophecy. Stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
but you also have to look at Serbia too, and always pay attention to Serbia, because World War One, Serbia, World War II, Serbia. Now Serbia is facing its tanks towards Kosovo on the border. It's not going to happen now, but November, it's going to happen.
How do you think the whole WWE thing plays into this with The Rock and all of that? Like, that almost feels like WWE. That's a 3, right?
BlackRock. How BlackRock plays into it. I actually think that Dwayne The Rock Johnson's supposed to be running for politics right now, but it didn't go off as good as it should during the Maui thing, and his character looks like a fool on the world stage. But I just don't think, like, I think he's lost all whatever Klaus Schwab they were trying to build him, it just seemed like it went awry. The character of The Rock does not seem to have the power that it once did. So I don't know, but I know WWE was what, a weekend ago, last weekend?
Yeah,
The
WrestleMania.
Yeah, but they Twin Towers, they NWO, they NWO Wolfpack. Was that them telling us the New World Order split into 2? Right then, like, there's a Wolfpack. Like, there's the New World Order, but there's also this inside group, this Wolfpack, this Kevin Nash, my dad.
I don't know. I just believe that it's all fake, and World War II was fake. World War One,
Just
I
like
don't know.
WWE.
I mean,
It's a reflection.
Wag the dog.
It's just
Wag the dog.
it's not happening in your reality, and it's happening on the TV. In that reality, is it reality? No, I don't think so. It's just a loosh to loosh everybody, and don't loosh yourselves. Literally, don't. They want you looshed. They want you a part of
Because
that.
we're not playing World War III.
No,
Just decide it.
Mhm.
Period.
We're not.
Yeah, we're not playing World War III games. What do we get out of that? The only way, I'm going to tell you, the only way, if I ever play war, every politician, every single one of you, you don't want me to play war because I will wear your flesh like Buffalo Bill.
Guillotine, baby.
Hell
Yeah. It'll be like I'm going full, like,
Every
I'll be
politician agreed.
you don't want me to Tina Turner Mad Max in the Thunderdome.
Yeah, I'll wear your skull as a helmet.
I'll have Nancy Pelosi's tits on like Princess Leia.
Razzle drip, Hillary.
Yeah, I'll have Nancy Pelosi's on my ears. I'll have to go like this when you're talking. What?
Oh my god.
And why stop there? I'll have Mitch McConnell's chin I just wear sometimes.
Is he even alive?
Like, I'll just put on an extra neck.
Oh, good news. We could wear Schwab's balls somewhere as earrings.
Old man balls
He's gonna
hang
Those
lower
will
die.
than
probably
you
hang down to
think.
your shoulders.
He's in the hospital. He's probably dead. I
He's been
hope.
dead. They have him on ice. They have them all on ice. They're just picking appropriate days. And who cares if who cares in the world if Klaus Schwab dies? Who gives a fuck?
Hallelujah. Praise that he's
Who
dead.
the fuck?
Seriously. Like that wouldn't lose anyone if he dies. People are like, "Woohoo!"
Yeah.
Like
Literally.
who
When is Bill
cares?
Gates due? I mean, the fake Bill Gates, because I think the real Bill Gates is no longer here.
The real Bill Gates.
Yeah, I don't think that's the real Bill. Kill Bill.
All those
Kill
people. It's
Bill.
so funny. It's like what a funny little movie we're watching at this point.
Yeah, get your popcorn ready. Just watch the show with, full love in your heart and just smile. Just enjoy the show. They go that way, you go that way.
And it's like, oh, the missile defense system. They started this, like, we were talking about OJ and all these other things of us growing up. And remember the shock and awe? Are you guys old enough to remember when they're like, let's play it all on TV? When George Bush, after 9/11, he's like, we're all going to go into the Middle East and we're going to play it on all the news. And it's going to be called Shock and Awe. And it's going to be missiles blowing up things. And we're all going to watch it as kids and just be like, this is normal that we're watching a civilization get destroyed and cheering it on like a football game.
When did this happen? When we were younger?
Right after 9/11, when we went
Oh,
into
well,
the Middle
yeah.
East for the second time under Junior Bush. And so it's like this Israel missile defense with sparklers shooting at, a thing and then fizzling out in the sky. I'm like, this
You know what
could
they were shooting at, though, right?
what?
Al-Chasa Mosque. Like getting ready for the red heifers. That was the whole plan. And everyone's like, oh, it's World War, whatever. No, they're destroying the mosque. That's what they want. They want to build a temple on that.
That's what I
that
keep
spot.
saying about the red heifers. This is the thing I never understood, and I let everyone run through with their prophecies and set it up for the eclipse and do all this shit. There is a building there. There is a huge building there that they haven't taken down. There's not been a brick moved of this beautiful old fucking building. And they have to have this building gone before they can do anything with these fucking cows. And so every single conspiracy theorist out there just pushed this red heifer thing, pushed it. The building is still there. Nothing's been moved. So it's like, why are we continuing to push the red heifer thing? Like we're feeding into a conspiracy or like an old tale that most of it's not done. It's like some random Jew from somewhere contacted some random Texan from somewhere, got 2 cows, and now they're involved in this whole huge tale that is not happening, but it's just like everyone's trying so hard to have their piece of the end of times.
947. Accurate.
And if you look at the World Economic Forum, I when I saw it today after I was doing the logo, I was like, oh, another one. I can't wait to tell Layla about this. Look at the World Economic Forum logo real quick. I'll pull it up for you.
Yeah, pull it up.
World. Let me W. I don't want to type that all out. EF logo. So I was like, oh my gosh, of course. And it so So here's like the World Economic Forum logo. Doesn't it look like an eclipse?
Yeah.
Oh,
Especially how they have to light the bottom like that.
yeah. Yep.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so I was like, oh, look at that. And right after the eclipse, and now we have Klaus Schwab.
And what's interesting, the line goes over the 3 zeros or the 3 O's.
Oh, yeah.
Just like moon phases. Look at
Wow.
part there, part
Yep.
there, part there, and then it's
I saw a video of what
great eye.
Yeah, so I saw a video of this astronomer talking about these 3 sparks that happened when the eclipse happened in that same exact position. I think he said they were some sort of stars that were like right behind the sun, and that they appear at that moment of that eclipse, that particular eclipse. And the
So
last time that happened was in 1776. This is exact like with the three
It's a
spots that
perfect third. And the line is a perfect
six,
third of
six,
each
six.
one of those things. Each one of those phases.
whatever happened with the NASA shooting rockets at the moon during the eclipse?
I don't know. I never heard anything else about it.
Neither did I. Just saw that article, but like
Yeah.
because the sparks, that's what it reminded me of, the sparks.
O is 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. So it's 666. I don't know.
Paranormal Putty Cat. Yeah, thank you for your super sticker, by the way.
Oh, I didn't even see it. Oh,
I don't see it
hey.
either.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
on the
so
thing.
cute. That's so
Hype.
cute.
Thanks,
I love
Paranormal.
it. And Paranormal Putty Cat is cute.
It is. I
That's a
like it.
cute name.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why. Here, this is just my Scorpio perfectionist right now. I wish it was Paranormal Putty Tat.
Me too. That's what I was just thinking.
Like if I was
Another
marketing
dog
for
Putty Tat.
you, yeah.
I would
The
say
Tweety Bird of it all.
If we're creating you a channel right now,
I would say
You
Paranormal
gotta
Putty
modify
Twat.
if I put on my manager vagina and I'm like, "Hey kid, you can be a star," then I would be like, "You should be Paranormal Putty Tat." That character forever will look like a old vagina.
What was his name? It's Sylvester the cat?
Yeah.
Twa Twa Putty Cat.
I thought you were talking about the vagina character I was creating. I was like, Sylvester.
Oh,
I don't hate that name. I'm gonna
Sylvester.
send you guys mustaches. I have so many. Or you guys should just buy
My
some so
8th
we can have a
grade
mustache one night.
Yeah.
PE teacher was named Miss Sylvester, and she was total dyke. Just saying, it was like back before anybody could talk about those things, but we all knew.
We all knew it was like the same way. It's like playing softball in school. I wonder if it was like a thing when we were growing up. If to be a female phys ed teacher, you had to be a lesbian.
My
Yeah,
phys
because
ed
both
teacher
of
was a
them were,
lesbian.
and they were both like
She was a lesbian too.
they were both
I had
butch.
lesbian phys ed teachers for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, they're all lesbian.
I had
Yeah.
2 that I don't think were. One of them was like a cheerleading coach, and one was like a runner. Out of all, but all the way through high school, out of all the phys ed teachers you had, I would say over half were lesbians.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Did you feel like all your science teachers could have smoked pot?
Yes. Oh
yeah.
my gosh, for sure.
Acid, mushrooms,
Yeah,
Yes.
they
all
like felt
that.
all. Yeah, it's so
They're like
funny.
like they still wearing their 70s shit, with their
Yeah.
like purple tinted glasses.
My
And yeah,
art
it's
teachers too.
definitely.
My art teachers too. Very like
Oh, my art teacher was
out there.
23, so he was way too young to be working with high school girls. I will say that. So
Man. Yeah, I would never let a 23-year I would never hire a 23-year-old male teacher around my kids.
yeah, I think that there's something to be said about very young men being teachers of high school
To
girls.
be
And
fair,
also women too.
yeah, I
that,
was
that
like,
is
to
within
be
their
fair,
it's
those
within your
young
pure
girls
range.
in there, and then
Yeah.
those boys are coming up. I'm like, who
They
can
get pregnant.
concentrate?
Yeah.
Pregnant with
It's
little
it's
16-year-olds.
I mean, if they were older, it wouldn't be without that's within
Yeah.
reason. 5 years is within reason,
Like
for
a
sure.
professor and
Yeah.
like you're in college and you're all of that age. That makes sense. But like you're a 23-year-old and you're like, hey, I want to be an elementary school teacher. Why? Like weirdo. Can't you no. That is weird.
If you had kids, or Abby, with your kids, did you pressure them to go to school right after college or right after high school? Did you pressure them like go to college or the military? Did they have to do the next step of adulting?
That was I never let college not be an option. That was my whole thing, right? But then a couple things happened. My son had like full ride scholarship and everything, but he kind of blew off his last semester of his senior year. He was but he has high functioning autism, so anytime a major change happens, it's like he upsets his whole fucking world. So all of a sudden he goes from having straight A's to like barely gonna graduate.
Felt.
So he lost his scholarship. So I was like, you know what? You're joining the fucking military. You're not gonna be a 40-year-old living in my basement. So I made him go. Like I didn't make it an option for him. And now he's doing like a trade school and everything. And then I had the superintendent at my school say something that I thought was pretty profound. He said, all these years, us educators have been pushing kids to go to college, go to college, go to college. He goes, and honestly, we're doing the whole world a disservice by doing that, including these kids. He said, first of all, every kid that goes to college now is like so in debt because they do have to take student loans, almost every single one of them. And he said, so that's a huge issue. He goes, but the other issue is that trades, we need to be pushing them to trades because they're making way more money without the debt just out of high school by pushing them into trades. Like people
What
will
is high
always need plumbers.
functioning
They're always going to
autism?
need electricians. They're always
Someone wants to know in the chat.
it's what you would call Asperger's, but Asperger's is no longer a diagnosis. They don't call it Asperger's anymore. So it's just called high functioning autism. They put autism on a spectrum. So you have the low functioning, the people that, take forever or may never learn how to speak. Then you have the high functioning who maybe started walking early and were speaking way before everyone else. And but it's just the
They
other
just
end of
have
the spectrum. So
emotional
my kid's very much
incapacity.
like Sheldon Cooper.
Yeah, schooling,
Yeah,
honestly, it
they
just
don't
sets
read
kids
body
up
language well.
for
And
the work area
The
of,
factory.
yeah, like jobs and nothing more, nothing less. Like it does not serve your children at all in the way that you think you want it to. So I don't know. If I ever have a child, I'm going to teach them what I know. They can learn their ABCs, 2 plus 2, times tables, basic algebra, but then everything else is like, okay, you're going to learn how to do your taxes. You're going to learn how to create an IRA account or whatever the case may be. Learn the trees, learn the plants, learn this. But so I can learn with them eventually because I don't know any of this shit. So the new things that I would like to teach myself, I could learn with my children if I ever have any, which I don't know if I should or not.
I would teach my kids, and the first thing you learn is taxes are theft.
Yes.
And I would have to homeschool. I would have to take more of a role in my kids' extracurricular activities so that they could have friends and networking. And so I'd have to be friends with a lot of parents in that way if I ever had kids, because my kid would definitely be homeschooled. I would be such a strict trad mom. Like all my food would be made, cloth diapers, home water birth. Like I would be such a doty dad. But then I would also, because I think it's so fucking important. I'm so far away from having a kid, you guys. It's never happening. I just want the audience to know, to not be scared when I say these things. But I think having positive male role models and like that father figure are so fucking important in a child's upbringing, that the idea of 2 women raising a kid alone or 2 men raising a kid alone, and all the single moms out there, kudos, all the single dads out there, kudos. But I am wise enough to know your fucking kid needs all that around them. They need the other sex around them. So if I ever had a kid, I would also have like the godfather of my child. He would have to be a really important role in my kid. Like my brother would have to move closer, like having a positive male, because one thing I realized growing up, something that I did have that a lot of my friends didn't have, is I had a great dad, like a really great father. And like he was always there. I never had to worry about anything. I never had to worry. Like pretty much since he's died, I've been the last. Like if anything comes into my house and hurts anything, I'm the last thing that's going to take care of it. Since my dad died, there's never been somebody else that was going to take care of me. And so my dad was just a really great father. And I don't think enough kids grow up, and probably a lot of adults out there, and probably a lot of men who've become great fathers themselves, sadly did not have a great father.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and I feel like there's a lot of great women in the world, but raising a kid by yourself, you don't get the opportunity to be a great mother because you're also having to like be part father and be part this. And then you're also at work all the time and you're just spread so thin, you don't get to really show up and do the thing that you'd shine at because you're having to do all these other roles as well.
Yeah, but I think
That's
people
very
like us
true.
should be having kids. Like, imagine like all the smart ones who see the world for what it is or whatever the fuck is going on and we question everything and we all just decide not to have kids. It's just we're going to be left with like fucking idiots running the realm, And it's
Well,
like
I have 5 of them, and y'all would love my kids
I know that already.
'cause they
I
do,
have to
they think out of the
say,
box.
every mom I know that has a litter, like a stretch of kids, like a whole gaggle of kids, uh, they are always good moms. And usually the whole gaggle of their kids, you're kind of like, your kids are cool kids. Like they all have different personalities and like like my homegirl Megan, she has a gaggle of kids and her kids all just seem cool. Like I would hang out with all of them separate and they all seem good. Like they have good hearts. And my sister, she has 5 daughters and they just seem like good, solid women. Like they're just good, trustworthy, solid women. And it's just like, wow, not that all kids that I meet and all parents aren't great, but it just seems to be 100% on the people that have the like chunk of kids that they're just like, wow, you have this little community you've set up and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
pretty
Like,
impressive. It's awesome. I've got my little tribe, and I'm thankful for it. And that okay, so back to the whole, like, pushing your kids to college or whatever. This is the one thing that I do not only say to my kids, I say to almost every kid that when they're a senior, because I'm around them a lot, whether I'm at school or at work or at the gym even. And they'll be like, "I don't know if I should do this or this." And the thing is like, this is what I do. Thank you. I like to tell all of them, and any adult really, you don't have to do any one thing for the rest of your damn life, ever. You never have to be one thing forever. Like, so at 18, you don't have to have it figured out. Go choose to choose one path and try it out. And if it's not for you, you can change your mind. It's not a big deal. That's what life's about. So if you want to do a job for 3 years and you decide that's not the path for you, then go pursue something else. You never have to be tied in. And that's the one thing that I want not only my kids to know, but pretty much every kid to know,
Yeah.
because there's so much pressure when you are at that coming of age time, when you're, on the border of adulthood, to have a plan and have it all figured out. And it's like, let them know that they never
You
have to
don't
have
have
it completely
to.
figured out. They just have to pursue something. And then if they
that's a
don't
great
like it, they
piece of
can,
advice.
Yeah,
yeah,
because they set like this standards like, oh, you go to high school, then you go to college, and then you get engaged, and then you get married, and da 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 da, and you have kids. And it's like, well, it's all a fucking setup. Like, do things according to your plan, not what society wants you to do. Like, oh, get them into the
yeah,
factories as soon as possible. We need the workers. Like, hurry up. No, no, we can raise entrepreneurs,
go to
you know?
go to college and be a teacher, and then you're locked into being a teacher the rest of your life. Well, if you hate it,
Ugh,
don't fucking do that.
yeah.
But I
Do something
wish
else.
a parent like that is such a good thing to tell your kid. I think it's just such a good piece of advice. And in a way that you're just gathering tools. You're just gathering tools all through life. Everything you learn is just another tool. And somebody's going to teach you that. Sometimes you have to pay for it with money, and sometimes you have to pay for it with time to learn another tool in life. So you don't have to. I think all trade school is where every kid should go first. Every single
Yeah.
kid should learn a trade. One, it's cheaper. 2, it's the
Yep.
better fallback because it's needed all over the world. 3, it's a skill that even without money, they can help their community with. Everyone should learn a trade first. And then if you want to go learn something out of a fucking book and sit there for more time, decide on that later. I think push your kid toward a trade first. If you're going to
Yep.
push them toward anything, $120,000 in debt to what? Get a bachelor's degree to sit in a cubicle and maybe make 40K a year
And
at this
maybe get
point?
that kind of job because some of them don't. They work as fucking waiters and bartenders and can't
You
find the job
know,
that they're
how
looking
many
for.
yeah, how many degree people do you know that would rather wait tables because they make twice the amount of money they would behind their degree?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was working for a corporate company like in retail and I was going into corporate, but the money that I was going to make wasn't it. And it was a lot of hard work, like barely any days off. And here I could work 4 days and make nearly what a fucking person in the corporate world would make. And I'm like, fuck that. It ain't worth it. Like being stuck in a cubicle and just like a fucking zombie for who? For what?
That's like I got my bachelor's in education and I taught for 3 years, but now my job doesn't even require a degree, but I freaking love it. I'm still in education, but I do IT. I sit in an office and I don't have to take work home with me. I
Yeah.
don't
I could
It's
become a
great.
teacher too, I found out, for like elementary school, for like kindergarten, first grade. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, really? I could become a teacher now without a degree? Cool.
Oh, yeah, because there's such a high demand for teachers now, so
Mhm. Oh, that's scary.
it
How is
really
there a
yeah.
high demand for teachers if less and less people are putting their kids in school? Because
Well,
they weren't paying shit for so long
maybe
in a
big
corrupt
cities.
system?
Big cities still want them.
I was gonna say, any of the poverty areas, you're gonna have a lot of kids in public school. 'Cause
Yeah.
But
that's
it's
that's
like
your
less
babysitter.
and less of us are having kids. So who are the teachers needed for?
The
The
idiots.
poverty kids.
Excuse me.
But they're not American kids.
Oh, I didn't think about it
Yeah,
that
in the
way.
cities, probably not.
Yeah.
They're
I was
probably
like in the
from
small
places
towns.
like Serbia.
Albania, the Bronx, you know, Queens,
Guatemala.
I don't know.
Mongolia here.
Mongolia. Yeah.
It's just
And
strange.
I don't know. Well, there's another thing too. If you don't make any money in your country where you come from, this is the big danger of putting a government tit in every illegal's mouth. So if you don't, your family, they live off $20 a month. You don't speak your own native tongue. You don't write your own native tongue. You can't read your own native tongue. Whatever land you come from, you can't read that anything. And so then you come here where you and your whole family were living off $20 a month and you get paid $200 a week per kid and all this free WIC and you get to live in Section 8 housing. There is nothing for you to do but sit and have more kids because you're like, this is the greatest thing in the world. I get paid for more kids. So now these little communities set up of whatever race, gender, religion you want to pick, whatever going on. And little communities all over these small states, all across the USA, Oklahoma, Michigan, whatever, all across the USA. And there's little tiny networks of ladies just having fucking 10 kids apiece, getting paid for the government that nobody knows about. But all of a sudden, in less than 1 decade, there's hundreds of people in that area, like all these people. And now Dearborn, Michigan has, oh, this English isn't even the regularly spoken language around here. And I'm like, that's how quickly it happens. In less than 2 decades, you can change an entire population's whole point of view. Like you talk about Iran. Iran used to have the exact same. It was so close to America in the 70s.
Yeah.
So close.
It was
Everything
beautiful,
about it.
honestly.
Like ladies, beautiful. Like ladies went to Iran in the 70s because they could get a great education.
Yeah.
Think of that. Because
Yeah.
all over the world, ladies would travel to Iran because they could get a great education, treated utmost, see a beautiful part of the world. Everything was great. Drive a car.
No forced hijabs.
No, in less than 20 years' time. The Iran we know in the 90s, think of how we don't know it that way. We never seen that Iran. We just are like, what? It's a desert bowl with people, ladies all wear black things.
But burqas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how quick I feel like a part of the world where you could be in the Bronx and be like, I'm not Muslim, but I want to get home safe from the store at night. So I want to cover myself. It has nothing to do with my religion. It has nothing to do with my thing. I just don't want to have a rock thrown at me. So I'm just going to cover myself on the way home to not have to fight with it because I'm a Karen and I just want to appease everyone all the time. So if you get enough people in your neighborhood to eventually be scared and be, I just don't want to offend. They're offended by my hair.
Yeah.
I don't want to offend. So enough of us cover up. Now we just change the law that quick.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened in Iran.
Yeah.
That quick, overnight. They voted and the ladies all of a sudden overnight couldn't drive, couldn't had their hair out, like couldn't go to
Hadiths.
school overnight. Like, nope, ladies, you're not allowed to ever come in this college classroom again. What? I'm a doctor. Sorry, Jan.
Mm-hmm. Do you think, guys, since we're on this topic of like kids and schooling, do you think that there's truly an attack on the women's womb where it's going to come to a point where they will have fake wombs and take that child, do whatever they need to do with that child and just start giving them to people? Like, like the whole what movie was there? What book was it? The Giver? Do you think
Yeah.
it's going to come to that?
They want it to so bad.
I don't even know if I believe the whole fake womb thing. You know what I mean? That they're pushing that, oh, they've already created it, the artificial wombs. I just don't believe it. I don't buy it. I don't
Or
care how many science articles say
I'm
it's
with you.
true.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
feel the same about the clone. When I see Dolly the sheep inside of a Ziploc bag, I'm like,
well,
if
what
they would have shown me a different animal cloned, I might believe it. But the fact they went with the sheep makes me like, I see you. I see you.
Well, it doesn't even have to be
Just
the
a
womb
sheep.
because they use like actual women. So like they raise the child and say, "Hey,
Yeah,
you're
and the giver.
16 and you're gonna be a birther."
You're a mom. Yeah, your
Yeah,
job is
and
mom.
you're just
Like
gonna
you're
birth
just a
every
birther. Yeah.
fucking year, and it's like, "Oh, okay, I love this job. Ha ha
That's what
ha!
I think the
Vaccinate
artificial
me."
womb is it's
Yeah.
really people, it goes to the whole human trafficking of it all. I do think that that's a
Or even the
possibility.
celebrities. Do you think Beyonce carried her kid?
No.
Or do you think, hey, Licky,
Thank you,
Liz
Lisby.
DC. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know we know the celebrities don't carry any of their kids, whether they're men or whether they are doing whatever kind of ritual or moonchild thing. Um, that, that is
That's weird. That's scary.
while I'm here right now, I just have to tell you that I opened up this because, when I got to see everyone in person, Donut, what up, Donut? He gave me one of his VHS boxes in
Dope.
person, and he's like holding Chan in this picture on a dolphin.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
But I'm going through because I got this white trash big gulp. See this white trash big gulp thing, everyone?
Uh-huh.
When you're
I
in
like that.
Florida, what I'm obsessed with, I go through weird obsessions. And right now I'm obsessed. You know how I was just on the Mandarin Orange kick for a few months and I think I'm
Mhm.
getting over it, but I'm obsessed with ice, like crushed ice, like
So am I.
finding
I
the
love
right
ice.
crushed ice machine. And I'm starting to like the beach again. It's like perfect weather in Florida and I need something. I don't want cold water. I don't like chugging cold water. But I
I don't
want something with
either,
like my ice
but ice is
separate
good.
of my
Yeah.
water for summertime. So I was like, the big gulp is this cup
It's
is
perfect.
just perfect
It's like a
for the
mini
beach.
cooler for your ice.
Yeah. So I have this big, huge thing, and then I have my donut stickers and my Paranoid American stickers and my Juan on Juan stickers. And so I'm like, gosh, my friends have such fun stuff that I can just
It's so dope.
go through and like put on their stickers on my this one says Illuminachos.
That's actually a cute sticker. I like that
Yeah, it
one.
says 666 in
Yeah.
Illuminachos. I thought it was one of Thomas's stickers because Thomas always like knocks off and
Why
then
is
this one
everyone in
says
Florida?
Illuminati
Dude,
worms.
have you been to Florida? Florida is a
I know.
paradise.
Why are we not in Florida?
Florida is a calm. Florida is a peace. Florida is just fucking
Oh, and this
Florida.
one is from Squid Games.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, that's
do you
dope.
guys have Sonics there? You like Sonic Ice?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can just go through the drive-through and buy a bag of Sonic Ice,
Oh,
Ooh.
no, I did not,
and it's
girl.
cheaper than usually buying it at the store. So, and
Uh-huh.
it's the crushed ice, the good
Yeah.
stuff.
That is a stoner tip you just gave.
You're welcome.
I love this. I will give you a stoner tip if you're ever in the mood on your cheat day. Okay, this is gross, everyone out there, but it kind of
That
goes with
sounds
my
probably
white
great for
trash
me.
big gulp
White
cup.
trash. I almost fucked up some white trash last night, but anyway.
Thank heaven 7-Eleven. You go to 7-Eleven, and at the 7-Eleven, they have the nachos in a bag. And there's like 8 chips in a plastic bag, and then they have a trough, and you dump the chips out in the trough, and then you get some meat and some cheese on it, and you put the lid on it, and you get that at 7-Eleven. Here's a tip. You take the bag out of the trough and you buy yourself a real bag of chips. And then you take that trough and you fill it with just the meat and cheese. You put onions in it from the hot dog thing, and then
make
you
it
put the
yourself.
lid on it. You don't even put the chips in it. They don't tell you how you have to fill that trough.
That's
So
true.
fuck that bag of chips. You could throw those right away. You just fill the trough. It cost you like $3. You just got dip for $6. That's a
Oof, that
little
sounds
that's a
so.
little stoner chip.
You know,
I
what's
like
funny
Stoner
that.
chip.
though is that I think you told me this once before. So I
I'm
did dream this
obsessed.
recently that I was at 7-Eleven and I was pissed because I couldn't find the nachos. I was like, where the hell are the nachos?
The
Because I was
7-Eleven
gonna do
thing that
it.
I'm obsessed with, which is so my, for those of you that have listened to Project Chaney for a long time, and I went to the insurrection, blah, blah, blah. I think one of the first magic tricks I actually did is I turned myself invisible. I know it's a long story. You could listen back to some episode somewhere of it. But my spell ended with, thank heaven, 7-Eleven. Because a 7-Eleven just appeared out of nowhere like a mirage. And then it dawned on me later on that 7-Eleven September 11 was actually 7-Eleven. Like
Oh
the
yeah, Sept.
9/11 of it all,
Yeah.
Sept 11 was saying 7-Eleven. And so it was just like, of course it was.
Why do they name it 7-Eleven?
I think that is part of
They're
the
lucky
evil days
numbers.
big huge thing. There's something with even the way that 7 and 11 are two of the biggest lucky numbers that anyone picks.
Mm-hmm.
Though, if you're actually playing craps, you crap out on 7-Eleven.
Mm.
What, or is that if you
Crap
play
out.
Don't Pass?
Oh, I don't know. I've never played craps. I always
I
played
just like
Oh,
that
poker
craps is
craps
so
is
fun.
called
It's a good
craps.
way. It's
and
so
blackjack.
fun. Like I've watched so much money like move across the craps table. It's great, but really you got to play the Don't Pass. You got to play with the house. Like that's the way to make the money.
Look
But
what I have here.
Oh, the cards.
ooh, the
Those are my
Medici.
Medici.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I keep my Medici.
I have mine right there. They're red, white, and blue American flag cards.
8 of clubs. I'll tell you guys, if you ever play poker against me, here's something so stupid I do. I'm a great poker player,
Same.
except I can count cards, I can do all that. I have a short attention span. And so when I get bored, I will go all in, go all in, go all in just to get the fuck out of
Fuck
the
out.
table because for some
Same.
reason I just can't walk away with chips. It gets in my OCD, and so it makes me a bad poker player. This is like
Happens to me.
that is where I'm like, oh, I realize a key to poker is patience of like being able to sit here for the 5 hours. And so my buddy Matt is a superior poker player, I've realized. But here's something silly I do. I think this is my witchy. And now when I say it aloud, it's going to make you guys even laugh because it doesn't matter what. I will 100% of the time, 100% of the time, go in with an offsuit 38, an offsuit 3-8. So if I'm playing Texas Hold'em and I have an offsuit 3-8, I don't know what it is about the like
It works.
randomness of it. It's an offsuit 4-7 or an offsuit 3-8. That I don't know what it is about those two things. The randomness of it, I'll always get a full house somewhere in the river. Like
Yeah.
usually and it's just like always, but it's the crazy
Unexpected
38 of it
win.
all.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And
like
it's
that.
people will see those cards there, be like,
They're like, I got pocket kings
exactly.
all in, motherfucker, on my
Uh-huh.
pocket kings. Who
And
no
then
one would have a 3-8 in their hand.
fuck, I
Who would
love
be
when
the
that
idiot?
happens.
And every time I win with a 3-8, every time at a real poker table, every time, the guy who I end up taking all his chips always is like, this is bullshit. You don't even know how to play poker. They always get so mad because you're not supposed to ever. It's like when the British came to fight us and they're like, wait, you're supposed to stand in a line in battle.
But my thing with poker is I act like I don't know how to play. Like the last time I played, I was in Texas and I was with my ex at the time. He's like, let's go play poker at this mini tournament. I'm like, sure. He's like, do you know how to play? I'm like, a little bit. I made it to the last table. And then he started hovering over me and was like, I can't believe you got to the last table and just spewing a lot of shit, like in like low-key hating manner. And then that's when I just was like, I'm done. I'm fucking done. Here, just bet all in until I fucking got up. But I was like, at least I fucking made it to the fucking last table, bitch.
And when you make it to the last table, most of the time in tournaments, you're already getting paid out. Like you
Mhm.
don't have to. You're like getting your money back and then
50
some.
bucks.
Yeah. So like I like that shit. And you know what? My favorite. We're all playing poker at certain casinos, depending on like the ante or whatever, and you get like a royal flush, and we all get $1,000 bucks. I
Mhm.
love that shit.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love.
I love poker. I'm
I
so
do
down
too.
for like a poker, like
When we have
meet
the
up with
Secret Society of Good
podcast.
Guys cruise, we're gonna play poker, Caribbean stud.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, you're talking to a Nevada girl, man. This is all up my alley.
All up meatballs in your alley. I
I
don't
like
know what that's
meatballs.
from.
Meatballs are good. Meatball subs.
Public subs.
Pub subs.
I've
Pub
never had a pub
sub.
sub.
I
Well,
love pub subs.
you need another trip to Florida. It sounds
I
like
do. I need to come soon.
the
Mm-hmm.
I need
weather
beach day.
in
Can we do beach?
Florida is chef's kiss right now. Like we are having the best weather on the planet.
We
There
could do
wasn't
another
a
meetup soon, like in
cloud
May
in
or
the
June.
sky. Yeah, we could do a meetup and any
Like
of
3
the
days,
like
4
all these
days.
super stickers and stuff. I don't need money to get to Florida. Layla doesn't need money to get to Florida. So then you could just use super sticker money to get to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
And do like a 3-4 day like trip and just like, a pre where are we going? The Salem place? Like a pre meetup.
Yeah, we could do
before
St.
that.
Augustine meetup. There's a
Yeah.
star fort there. There's like tons of old monolithic structure buildings.
Yeah, that would be
I
dope.
really want to do that. That's over by what's it called? By Jacksonville, right? Like not
Yep,
far.
so that's the next city south of
Yeah.
Jacksonville. Yeah,
We
we could
Yeah.
do. We could totes make that happen. Jacksonville is cheap flying, and I just realized the airport south of me flies into Layla's small airport for cheap.
Mm.
Like
Oh,
so,
that's cool.
yeah, like the close airports. I didn't even think about that. Like Layla could fly from her small airport to my small airport for like $60.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like the small airport travel is where I'm like, oh, like because we're in state, so sometimes it's just filling planes from point A to point B.
Mm-hmm. And just see when those flights are available because they're not available all the time.
Yeah, and then
Kinda
like
deal.
Frontier Airline, there's another Breeze airline is like in Vero now. And so I just realized I'm like during certain times of the year, I'm like, what? I can go see my homegirl up in Providence. This is dope. And like for $60, I'm like, I'll just do that on my 2 days off.
Yeah.
For a cheap enough ticket, I'm like, I'll just take my 2 days off and go see.
Yeah.
That's what I like about flying to Nashville and going hanging out with my Maria is it's always like, oh, this is a cheap ticket. It's nothing.
How's she doing? Have you spoken to her lately? She's doing well?
Good. She's
Yeah.
doing good.
That's
yeah.
good.
Of
She needs to
course.
come back on. It's been a minute.
I know. We should have her on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
For ladies' night.
Mm-hmm. So like, isn't that the racist old lady cook there? Well, here's a question. Isn't everybody a little racist? Like, aren't like Spanish people racist against white and like not in a hateful way, but it's like, oh, look
Who's
at
the
that
old lady
gringo.
racist cook? I forgot. I have short
I
attention
forgot her
span.
name. I forgot her name. The one she loved butter.
Paula Dean.
There you
Paula
go, Paula
Dean.
Dean. Yeah.
She's in Georgia.
Mm.
Paula Dean's in Georgia, I think.
She's in
Or
Georgia,
South
yeah.
Carolina.
But isn't
That's-
that the thing? Like everybody is like racist when it comes to their culture. It's like Albanians are like, oh, you can't marry anyone else because they're not this, or black people with white people, and then white people with black people, and this and that, and Chinese saying no, you can't marry outside of this, and Indian people are like, oh no, you can't marry outside of this because fuck them, they're like this. Like, isn't every culture low-key racist, but they don't admit it?
Is every culture low-key racist, but only white people get in trouble for it?
Or that, yeah. Fuck
And the real of it is all the atrocities that are done are a certain country. It's usually Jews, but they're white when they do bad things, but when they're being persecuted, then they're the minority.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
usually all the atrocities, the heads of the corporations, the heads of Hollywood, all the 1% that own slaves, all the elite CEOs of New York, LA, any you pick the city, it's all them. The evil white man is a Jewish man.
Yeah. It's
It,
strange though.
it
But
is
people don't like to
strange.
admit it, but this is the fucking truth. I've met
Yeah, it
many
was never a
people.
bunch of mix from Ireland that,
Yeah.
oh, you know what? We're so poor. We're gonna come here and be here for 30 years and now we're gonna own slaves.
We're indentured servants and slaves
Yeah,
ourselves,
we're
but
indentured servants. They kept my passport, but in less than 20 years I'm gonna have some slaves to help me pick my potatoes. No one did that. Never happened, not once. Like no WAP came here from Italy that not
Italy, yeah.
speaking the language and was like trying to figure things out and was like trying to figure out how to own slaves. No
Yeah.
one. Only one religion owned slaves, probably again and again and again. But
I
then they
have
try to convince us with a book that only one religion was slaves.
So I have this question then. This whole like immigration throughout the world, like invasion, whatever you want to call it. Do you think it's a plan? Now, hear me out. Do you think it's a plan to get everyone to mix and intermix so everyone can lose their roots and not know what their roots are so they can't define, oh, I'm this, I'm that, so they can bring the borders down and have one people, one religion, one. Do you think that's what's happening with all of this? Because I definitely think that's part of it. Like they want that division to kind of end in a
I
sense.
remember when I was little, was it like Different Strokes or something where there was the black woman who is married to a white man? Um, I don't know if it was that
Different
show, but I remember
Strokes was when a rich white man named Les Wexner got to buy two black boys. And oh, sorry, different TV show.
okay, then maybe I'm talking
you're
about the wrong one.
you're
There is one where
talking,
there's a black woman and she was married to a rich white man. And I remember looking at my mom
but
and
they
I
were
was
the
like,
co-stars. That was the
yeah,
Jeffersons.
okay. But I just remember going, is that normal, mom? And she's like, this is what she said to me. And mind you, she's like open-minded hippie woman, women's lib, all of that. And she's just said, it's fine. She said, but we need to keep the stock strong. And I was like, what does that mean? Like in my kid brain, I had no idea what she meant. So I remembered it forever. And then I was like, wow, was that racist? Like my mom was never racist, but I mean, it was just kind of weird how she said that. And so like certain things I do want to say, like, mixing bloodlines does seem to cause like certain issues. I feel like children who are of mixed ethnicities seem to have more skin problems, like eczema and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't see it necessarily.
That could just be Vax
Yeah, that's I
injury.
was just thinking that.
Exactly. Who knows? Who knows what it is, right?
Mhm. Well, I think that if you lose your roots, you're easier to control. And that's what I think. So when they start mixing everybody and like the melting pot, someone says, and there was like a song or whatever, I that's what I think. It's easier to control a people when they don't know where they come from. You know, oh, I'm from
And you
here. I'm
don't
from there.
have
DNA
your
23 and me.
code isn't really quite like your
Pure.
cultural code or whatever is not quite,
Strange.
which can also be a hindrance,
Do you
in
think,
many ways. But
like there's a lot of things that I'm sure, regardless of race or gender or religion or all this stuff, there's a lot of things that we're all the same at and we're all amazing and we're all one and it's so special. And then
does that
there's
make you
some
special if they're all the
things
same?
that certain cultures that have kept their bloodlines pure and kept their things rooted and kept they have a different magic that people couldn't understand and different traditions, keeping certain traditions alive that have been trying to washed away, that have real like power to them that we couldn't possibly understand, because like my roots go as far back as Hallmark cards.
Mm,
And Layla's roots and religions go back 1,000 years. And
mhm.
so it's so easy for them to make me teach my kids about Santa Claus
Mm,
because they just changed everything for each one of the moms of my bloodline. Every generation, they gave them a new script. So it's so easy for me to wash away religion and be like, oh, look it, I'm going to take God and all the generalities that people make of God. I'm going to put it on Santa Claus, and we're just going to make that new fairy tale, and we're all going to do it because
Yeah.
I don't have the roots that it's going against anymore.
Yeah.
So it's
That's what I
just,
think is happening for sure.
yeah.
It's
And
a
then
great
look at
tool.
like how with so many religions, you talk about it with yours, all the stuff rinsed away, but then I just mocked my Irish heritage a little. But think of like all of the Irish heritage from like what the fuck, how powerful is a Celtic knot? And the different knots, like we talk about mudras and mantras and all these things. If you look at, and we talk about symbols and esoteric, like all of it, if you just look at all the different histories of Ireland, and I'm like, or all the different lore of Ireland, and I'm like, gosh, most people don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
Like most people, it's like
Like,
most of that stuff is such fairy tale Disney shit now.
yeah, even the Anglo-Israelis, I don't know if you even went down that. That's a pretty fucking interesting history there. The Anglo-Israelis and how they mention a lot of these places in Europe, the actual Israeli tribes, not where they say that it is in um, the Middle East. But I think it's pretty compelling evidence of the whole story of the Anglo-Israelis and history.
So
Guys, got to look into that.
not to totally derail it, but to bring you back to like multicultural children or interracial children. Um, One thing that I really thought about lately, because I have a good friend who is interracial. He's black and white, right? And he had to deal with racism on both sides. His black family kind of treated him one way because he wasn't all the way black. Like the white family treated him another way, and racism on all sides in general, right? But the one thing that was pretty profound when I listened to him talk, like what struck me is that like his grandfather was very racist his whole life. So like or before he was born, very hardcore racist against black people. And he was born and the mom had to deal with a whole bunch of shit for, falling in love with a black man, getting pregnant with a man's child and all that. But after the baby was born, it healed like generational racism. And I think that a lot of these multicultural children are brought here into this earth. And I do think that this is more of a God thing than a they thing. I do think that it's a God thing because it's healing people. Like if it's healing like racism usually is generational. It's something you've learned, it's passed on, it's through your culture.
Yeah.
So if these kids, they had to be very strong souls because they're coming here, they're having to deal with it on all sides, but then they're also healing it. And I think that that's kind of special.
Do you think racism a lot of the time comes from trauma?
A lot of the time it can, yeah.
I would say more often than not, it's usually somebody judging an entire group of people for a very traumatic experience they had with one person.
Yeah. There's this man in history named Louis Wetzel, and for whatever reason they think that he's somewhere in my family tree, but he lived in Pennsylvania, and at 13, his whole family was like pretty much murdered by the Iroquois tribe, and he was kidnapped. So he escaped somehow. And then he went on this rampage the rest of his life, like scalping Indians and stuff and freaking killing them. And even to the point where the city that he was in was negotiating a peace treaty with an Indian chief. He walked right up to the Indian chief in the middle of this thing and scalped him right there in front of everyone. So that was trauma based. Absolutely.
A lot of it is, the more you think about it.
And then some of it is set up for us. It's artificial trauma based because they were like, look at all these old rich ladies live in this area. So let's show them all these black guys on the news and all
Yeah.
these,
And 13.
let's show these black people all live in this area. So let's show them all these affluent white people. And these, Mexican people all live here. So let's show them all the things that I just think it's like kind of pitting us against each other a little bit.
Yeah.
In ways.
Absolutely. And you saw it mainly with George Floyd. that, oh, fuck white people, and then attacks on white people, and then the in school, like, talking about race theory and, segregating blacks and whites again. And it's like, why the fuck are we going backwards, y'all?
Do you ever find it was so weird to me, like I grew up in Florida my whole life. There wasn't a race I didn't have around me that it wasn't very normal to have around me. Every single grade of my whole upbringing, every race was around me. I got to Oregon, and everybody there is so not racist. You never ever are ever going to hear the N-word. They're so worried about everyone. It's like a whole town of Karens. It's male feminists. It's like a whole town. It's like Portland is like this like
Kind of
uber
sounds like a
liberal.
nightmare,
It
honestly.
is. And here's the weird thing. It's like 90% white. So they're all like they're not inclusive at all. None of them have any friend that they is even tinted brown or black or of any color. They all have a bunch of gay friends and a bunch of trans friends, but they're all the same, I would say, middle upper class white kids that they're allowed to go play in Portland, Oregon and have nothing else to do but become narcissists of themselves. So, hey, I've done nothing interesting in my life. Let's talk about my pronoun. So it's just like somewhere it's so weird how many of them will be like, that's racist, that's racist, that's racist. And I'm like, you guys are soft or something or weird out here. Like everybody in, like, I don't know. It's weird to me to think, and it really is a Florida for Florida thing. This is something that I will big up our state. I don't think my wife's bestie is like, my best friend's a white girl from blah, blah, blah. I don't think she's saying that any more than my wife is like, my Haitian friend, they're just besties.
My
You know what I
friend.
mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like there's something in Florida that I feel like there's so many other people out there where they're like, my gay friend Chaney. People in Florida have enough gay friends. People in Florida have enough black friends. They have enough Mexican friends, they have enough Cuban friends, they have enough Puerto Rican friends, they have enough. They're not like even thinking that thought of saying those things. But you might hear the N word, but it might be from a Puerto Rican guy saying it to you, like me, being
Yeah.
like to me, Chaney, what up, my nig? And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And it's just normal. It's not normal. It's there's nothing about it. He's not saying any, so it's just like, I don't know. We're in a place that I've noticed the people that are the softest are the people that are like in their head are the most corrupt. Like the people that are like so nervous and they're really the ones thinking like all the weird racist thoughts.
Yeah.
What's
Why is
going
that?
on? What's
My
going on, Layla?
my mic and whatever just stopped out of nowhere. I don't know. Someone said the
I
spell.
think we're still in a Mercury retrograde, aren't we?
Yeah, what else is going on? So we got Klaus Schwab, we got OJ. The juice was loose.
OJ, who else?
World War III. I guess we can't forget about World War III this week. Trying to pop off.
World War III.
What about
Crazy.
your message from Daddy Trump the other day?
Oh yeah, the text.
I just think that's so interesting. So you guys, to me, where he was like, in less than 48 hours, your country will not exist. Like, so, and they're just the little Trump messages from the Trump campaign, and you can click on True Social or on the Trump website, and it puts out a whole thing. And so he sent me that. And then the next day, that's when the Iranian Israeli missile defense thing. And then we're going to roll into Monday. I'm like, what's Monday about to hold? Is there court trials going on? Is Biden in trial? Is Trump in trial? Is Assange in trial? What's happening?
Is Assange real?
I think so.
Yeah.
Just by the amount of how long I've been studying WikiLeaks, I think so.
Yeah.
I think Hillary wanted him dead so bad. I think him being in the Ecuadorian embassy for as long as he was, the way that he was taken out and everything, and I even think him being wherever he's at is so he can't be killed in transit.
And
think
that's what the bridge thing was about. Probably,
sometimes I
like you
do
said.
think that. Sometimes I do think there's something. And look at how many other bridge incidences didn't happen.
Yeah.
At least 5. So we get this one at 1 something in the morning, 1:28 a.m. And then just we know. Just so you guys know, there's all these barges all over, and they want everyone to think they're being hacked.
It just makes you wonder what is actually really going on. Forget everything that they're, projecting onto us. Like, what is really happening that we don't know? Because I know
What's the
something's
real
changing. I don't know what it is, though.
Does it feel good or bad to you?
I don't think anything bad's going to happen. I really don't. People want something so bad to happen so badly. And I'm like, it sounds fun, sounds cool. Yeah, go to war. The only thing that I see like that can really change if we want to change is by us, like we stepping up to the plate, but we're not even doing that. So I don't know. I think it's just a loose thing to cover up part of like what's happening with people, like getting jabbed and people dying in big numbers, and they want to hide it, or I don't know. I just feel like something.
I told someone today, I hope whatever God you believe in comes back tomorrow because I am fucking bored with this. Like, I don't even care anymore if I don't believe in the right God. I don't care. I'll do this all again, even if it turns the black. I'm like, I don't know, but this in 40-hour work week, and here, let me look at how much taxes are taken again. Everyone's
That
like,
is
just stop
hell.
paying
It's hell, is
taxes.
it
Just
not?
stop paying taxes. Cool schmool, but I still want to set up other things in life that sometimes it sucks. No
Mhm.
matter how much cash you have on the free flow, sometimes you need collateral and capital. And sometimes that all you have to have taxes too. And the thing that everyone talks about with the whole sovereign citizen thing, that I will say it right here, right now. You aren't free if you have to sit there with cops and waste your fucking time and sit in court and waste your fucking time. Because as a manager, and I've started a few businesses in my life and I've ran a few things, if you aren't accounting for your time, you're fucked. So yeah, you might not have to pay $1 to the state, but you just wasted 50 hours in court to do that. How much is your time worth? Because mine's worth more than that.
Yeah.
So there's just like certain things of this bullshit that I'm anti-gun if you can make a spell that deletes all the guns off the planet tomorrow, but there isn't that spell, so I'm pro-gun.
Yeah.
So I'm gladly to stop paying taxes when we're all going to sign up for that ship together. But until then, I'm not going to be the lone person. I want to buy a bunch of property. I got big, huge plans. And sometimes I have to pay the fucking tax man. And that is illegal as fuck. It's against my constitutional rights in every way. And it makes me want to get on a horse and torch. Like
Yeah,
every time
for
I think
real.
of the tax man, it makes me like, oh, like I don't care what your race or color or anything. Who the fuck is the IRS?
They're nobody. And it's not just they take out of your fucking paycheck. It's like everything that we pay on top of that is a tax. And giving
Bring back
people
the
money,
guillotine.
you get
Like, I don't give a
taxed.
fuck. If for real, I'm gonna tell you. If you're a sick person, I want to help take care of you in the tribe. If you're a fucking single mom and trying to get your feet together, I want to take care of you in the tribe. If you need help with your education or your housing, or you're an old person, I don't want you to ever work it again. I want to help take care of you in the tribe. If you live halfway across the fucking world, I don't want to take care of you in my tribe. And I don't want to fucking send a bunch of weapons over to you so you can kill other people in their tribe. I don't want to get involved in your tribe at all. I just want to worry about my tribe.
America first.
I don't want to think about new world ordering. That's what this whole group think all the time. They just want me to think in a new world order way where, you know what? Chaney has to be so concerned with New Zealand. No, she doesn't. She needs to be concerned with fucking what's my neighbor's name? What kind of pet does that old lady have across the street? Does she need any help today? That's what I need to
Yeah.
be concerned with. Like, are my kids, who are they hanging out with?
That was a way of life before, but they destroyed that. And how they destroyed it? Oh, we're going away to college and you have to move off and go to another state and not have your community of family anymore. It was that way until it
Come
wasn't.
and join this fraternity so we can get you guys all into these secret societies and these creepy rituals. And the ones who follow it the furthest will know are set up for the big leagues.
Yeah.
They're like, this guy, he would have killed someone for us. Let's send him to the next level up.
Family compounds, y'all. Let's go back to that.
Community. They're like, that's communism. I'm like, I'm a capitalist girl, but here's why I'm a capitalist. If you make the best shit, I want the best shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to be forced to always have to get Layla's shit if Abby's making better shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a capitalist girl. Like, and I think you can get so fucking big, you crumble in on yourself. We don't bail you out. You become such a big company that when you shatter apart, 10 companies grow up in your place.
Yeah.
And that's how capitalism is supposed to work. But I'm also a communist girl. When it comes to my little community, I want them all to be okay. I want them to all eat and all drink and all have their housing and all have their education. And I don't mind working a little harder to make sure that the people that can't work as much have that thing. But I want the best thing if I want the best thing. And I don't want the person that's never going to pull their weight to always get to have the same amount.
Are we still capitalists or monopolies now? Because I feel like
That's
it's more.
crony capitalism.
Yeah,
You're
because
right. That's
this
not it.
is
I'm
yeah,
saying me,
yeah,
me, me, me. I'm a statist.
yeah.
I don't care. I'm all about the smallest amount of government possible.
Because it
I'm a
was
statist too.
capitalism
Just teasing.
until
I
it
would be an
was.
anarchist, but I just don't believe peaceful anarchy can exist.
No,
Otherwise, I'd be total anarchist.
I
Like,
agree.
I would be like, fucking tits out, anarchy for everyone. The kids are going to be safe, anarchy for days. As long as the kids and moms are safe, anarchy your face off. I just don't believe that can happen. So there needs to be a little bit of government. And the way I know this to be true is we have to tell men how old girls can be that they can have sex with.
Yeah. Well, here's
So
the
that's why
thing.
I'm like, there has to be some kind of law
When there's no
because
government, they use religion as a law. That's
Yeah.
when Christianity comes in and Islam comes in and Catholicism. So they'll use
ah,
that as a
ah,
government tool,
that just scared me even
the
more.
the Vatican, So I don't know. Sometimes I like the government because I'd rather have the government than certain like religions like that go
Then
by
the
fake.
God vermin.
Well, is it even government? Is it government or is it human beings writing these stories and we're saying, "Oh, God wrote it, God said
That's what I'm
so."
saying. It's the God vermin. It's mind control. It's
I'm just
mind
like,
control using God. Like,
put a hijab on. You're not allowed to go to school anymore. I'm allowed to have 4 wives, and you shut the fuck up. No, that's why I like government sometimes. Because there's idiots out there. When you think about it, there's
that's what
assholes out there. Like,
just doing dumb shit. That's why I'm
well,
like, the fact that we have to be like, you're not allowed to have sex with this person unless they're 18 means
mhm.
that alone means I would like anarchy, but people are fucking serious and they're like, people just want to get their dick wet. And I know I don't like the blanket term, but majority of the weird stuff that makes you like people are into doing what? It's
Mhm.
always men. It's like so far and few between that everybody knows the name of the one teacher who slept with the one student and they're still married until she died. They were married until she died.
Dude, I just watched this podcast of people talking about the NBA and how their perversions grew into like the weirdest of weirdest shit that you'll ever fucking like think about. Like people like NBA players, your idols out there who like love watching these sports. They're
The
ordering
Nephilim Basketball Association.
yeah, they're ordering shit online so they can fucking eat it. All right? They're ordering shit and toenails and
She
used
doesn't mean like they're
panties.
just ordering random shit online.
No,
She
they're
means
ordering random shit. No,
there
like
she
poo.
means poop.
Yeah, like poop.
But
Like
Jeffree Star,
sperm.
he said that the worst of the worst is not the athletes. He said it's the hip hop artists, which go figure, right? The
Well,
whole
that
P
we
Diddy
already
of it
know,
all.
yeah. But
Yeah,
people are like, when they see LeBron James, they're like, oh, he's the greatest guy ever.
China shill.
he's shit.
LeBron James is such a China shill.
Dave?
The NBA was part of the like reason the world shut down so quick is because LeBron wouldn't play.
I fucking can't stand him. Oof. Oh, God. I can't stand that man.
Get the anger out, Layla.
Yeah, I
And
have
he
to.
was the one who passed Kobe Bryant's scoring record when then the next day Kobe died
Fucking asshole.
in the helicopter.
I really think that Kobe was one of the good ones, and they try to pin a whole sex thing on him and like,
Dude, That was definitely one of the things that I feel like the more research I did, I ate my words on it. I was always a Kobe hater where it was I'm not a feminist. It was one of the things that grossed me out, like hearing the whole Kobe story. The
Yeah.
more research I did on it, I'm like, this is
Hmm.
how they got him. He went there. He was going to get a surgery. His manager, everybody sets him up with this perfect surgery. He's staying in a hotel somewhere while he's either out on scopolamine. They put him in a whole bunch of compromising pictures. All of a sudden, he wakes up and they say, we have everything on you to put you in jail for the rest of your life, or you play ball. And he's
Yep.
like, I didn't do anything. And they're like, watch how quickly it happens. Kobe Bryant accused of rape. Kobe Bryant accused of rape. Kobe Bryant. And then he had to
Well,
sit
not
and
only
give
that,
press
they show
conferences.
them. They show him, like, this is what we got you under. Now pay attention. Look, this is what you're doing. And you're sitting, watching yourself not in that state.
That's
That's
what
fucking
scopolamine
weird.
does. And that's what I really think. I think that's when they got Kobe Bryant, was
Yeah.
during that rape. And before in life, I would have been a person that could argue like, oh, look at how dirty this motherfucker is. The elite get off with everything. And I'm like, nope, he was a young kid. That was the moment they got him. And I think in something about it, I feel like if you're not born to it, they are only using you for a small period of time. And so
Yeah, your collateral damage.
yeah, and so Kobe could be one of those people that wasn't born into it, but he was given stuff because he was actually talented for
Yeah.
quote unquote playing ball for a certain amount of time.
Kobe's company was involved with Big Pharma and the vax. He probably knew something too.
It isn't quite that way.
Yeah, I think he
Kobe's
was going
no,
against it.
yeah. The
Yeah.
real thing is that Kobe. The real thing is that there was a Chinese company that was sending over supplements, and in the supplements, I believe they were finding fentanyl and other things that certain people in America, they were having an easy trade from China to get a whole vat of fentanyl and be able to cut it into drugs and kill people. That's what I really think was happening. So there was a black mamba that was having a whole bunch of dirty ingredients in it, and they were using black mamba, which is Kobe Bryant's tag, to try to sell these drugs. And so Kobe was suing them. It was a Chinese pharmaceutical company, and Kobe was suing them. That was a thing that some people said that was why he could have gotten murdered, but
Yeah.
his company had nothing to do with that at all.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't selling those things. He just was the Black Mamba logo. But he was also in a Nike commercial right toward the end of his life with Kanye West with the helicopter. And that's when it was all like, hey, Black Mamba, and it's snakes and all that stuff. And then a helicopter crashes. But it's
Yeah.
weird where Kanye is now, or since even that date of his death, how Kanye
Is
is
it
unraveled.
Kanye?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know. Where are these people going? Are they really dead? Are they doing the whole death becomes her and like off on some island somewhere? I know I always bring it up, but it makes me wonder, man. It's just strange. Are they really dying? Did they finish their contract?
Do you think there's any entities that you could conjure into yourself, and it could make you, like, let's say I could conjure Sasha Fierce. I could do a certain amount of ritual and I could get Sasha Fierce to come into me, and Sasha Fierce had a magnetic energy about her. She would say these things. She had a great voice. She was like, had this vibrato about her, whatever. Like, do you think that's possible to get like a demon to come into you or whatever? And then do you think that demon craves fame? So that if you conjured a certain energy into yourself and then couldn't provide that energy, the thing, it would want you to kill yourself because it wants to jump out of your vessel because it craves fame.
Huh. Maybe, like, let's say, for instance, like these people of the past, right? They did their thing and they went into a lower level and they become a jinn, right? And then they know this. So it's like, is it their past lives of who they were coming back into this reality and finishing what they started kind of idea? Like conjuring them, like they know specifically who they were back in whatever, say, time era, and they'll conjure up that particular jinn to bring it back to life.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
thought
know.
Abby was about to say something.
Yeah.
She sat forward and breathed in the
I was, but everything about the latency. I am because I'm like, okay, because like that's my
I like
whole
that Layla
reality
did
trend
too.
surfing thing. They talk about how, most people don't remember past lives, and it's not really necessary. You don't necessarily have to, but it says that you can reclaim the power from all your past lives just by saying it, by affirming it. Like, I reclaim all the power and knowledge of my past lives. It doesn't mean knowledge of life itself, but the wisdom, I guess, that you incurred, because it all belongs to you, but you have to pull it into you. And I like that idea.
I think the real of it
So it
is
kind of relates to that, what you were saying, because why couldn't you?
I think so. It's like almost like an AI system because we're in like
Yeah.
a simulation. So I think it's possible.
a simulation.
Hmm.
A simulation. I know. Somebody brought up like Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell, and I on Chaney and Wonderland on Instagram. I do a lot of posts about them. I also think if you go to at Natalie Denise, I do an interview with her on the first season of Project Chaney, which you can find the audio version somewhere on this channel. But it's Natyl, Natalie Denise, and she has a channel on YouTube, and she did a good documentary on Chester, and I think a separate one on Chris, and then ties them together, like, our style documentary. But I mean, they were totally killed. Podesta's kid, and then Chris
Oh yeah.
Cornell and all their
Hmm.
Lincoln Park of it all. She goes into it
Chester
pretty heavily.
Copperpot.
Yeah, thank you. It was Natalie. But it's at Natalie Denise, and has a YouTube channel. We should have Natalie come hang out one night. She's fun. She's fun times, and she knows a lot about pop culture. She also spends a lot of time at the border in Texas. So when people are like, "Oh, the Texas border is a psyop," I'm like, no, it's not. I know people that spend a ton of time there, and it's atrocious. I don't want to tell you some of the stuff that goes on, like for your own head, for women and children and stuff at the border, and this is why it's so dangerous, and why because it's anyways. She spends a lot of time documenting that stuff, and then also Hollywood, unraveling that. So
You know, my Maria posted a video today of Elon and that whole famous clip. What's outside of this simulation? What's outside of this simulation?
oh, what, were you sitting on Joe Rogan, and Joe
No,
Rogan
the
says
other
it
guy. It's the other guy. I think he's like some kind of like black haired, like European kind of dude. I forgot his name.
he's probably in the think tank with Elon and Joe Rogan, the
Huh.
CIA think
She
tank.
posted it today, and I'm
Oh,
like,
look.
oh wow, for real. Like I've seen her post it over and over again. But then if we are in the simulation,
Is it in her story or
yes,
in
her story.
let's go check it out.
And the way he stops and thinks about this like question that he's asked, and the way he,
Look how cute Binks is.
yeah, she's so beautiful.
It's unreal, right?
Uh-huh, she's beautiful.
You guys, you can get Reiki from Binks, or you can get Reiki from Abby.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out again to Abby. Okay, my Maria story. Let's
Yeah, it's like probably in like somewhere in the middle.
wait. How
I
does this go?
love
Oh
that
my
clip.
god. I thought it was like, please don't go into our messages. I almost had a panic attack.
Private.
Oh shit. Whew. Okay.
Almost there.
Uh,
Nope. 47. Almost there. Next one.
I know that.
Uh-huh.
That's Goodfellas.
Uh-huh.
That's how you cut garlic when you're Italian.
Almost there.
The sound's not going to be on.
Oh no?
I don't think it's on. I don't know how to even turn it on without. Let's see. Oh, that's
This
it's
one.
oh, yeah, that guy is in this think tank with Elon and Joe Rogan.
Yeah. But the way the question is asked
How
and
to
the
get
way he
out of the
thinks about it,
simulation.
yeah, and he's like, if you were to ask AGI a question and one question only, what would it be? And he just stops and he thinks and he's like, what's outside of the simulation? And he starts doing this bobblehead thing, like eyes wide open. And I'm just like,
Can I tell you a bullshit thing about this right now?
mm,
So the guy that is rich because he has a whole bunch of government subsidies, and a guy who has a company because he makes all of his money because of the illusion of SpaceX, and the whole entire tale that he wants to build a whole civilization on Mars and do all this bullshit. But his biggest question is what's outside the simulation, and not that everything can exist no matter what you want to think in the simulation, but it's almost like the simulation to me is like a lazy ending of a movie, like where you're like, and then the character woke up and the whole thing was a dream. Like, dude, how are you gonna all? And now I'm a simulation theory, but I also believe in the deepness of space, and I want a civilization on.
yeah.
Well, if you like, if it's a simulation, why do you need to travel in a rocket that far and do all this stuff? Why do like it's
Why don't you
part
just
of
simulate yourself there?
yeah, like part of it's like, you kind of have these two tales that you're telling me at the same time. Is the simulation tale going to eventually cost government subsidy money too in my tax dollars?
Mm,
It's
yeah.
funny because Dr. Jerry Duhenio Rivera last night, or a couple nights ago, he sent me a link to his newest podcast, and it's called. The title of it is "Ever Wonder How God's Source Consciousness Field Was Created," and he talks about that. Like, if you think that it's a simulation, like what created God, what created all, and where was the beginning? And so, it's a pretty good episode.
On what episode was it?
It's his newest episode. His
Whose?
podcast is called Jerry Unfiltered. It is what it's called. It's Dr. Jer Duhenio Rivera.
But what if it
And
is like Truman Show and there's something like outside of the firmament kind of thing? What episode? Evil? Does that first word say evil?
no, ever wonder.
Oh, Ever Wonders. It's back.
Yeah, he does the whole base 12 mathematics stuff. He gets really into that and how, like, the Fibonacci sequence is wrong. A distortion.
Because there's movies that show like once you go beyond the simulation, it's like all like electrical, like electrical
Inception.
wiring. Yeah, Inception. Fucking what's it called? Truman Show. Like it's all a show, a simulation. And there's other couple movies that project that.
The Truman Show doesn't do that past the simulation. It's
Well,
just us watching Truman in
But
the
that's the
show.
simulation. Like they created a whole world around him, like a whole like fucking world. That's his simulation. Not
He's
the
like pretty
entire
much
simulation.
inside the sphere in Vegas.
Yeah. I need to go visit it because they recorded the Truman Show like half an hour away from here.
Yeah, I've had a few friends that have done they take a picture at the Truman House.
Yeah, I want to go and do that. I just haven't yet.
We could do that.
Or come
That'd
here
be
and
cool.
rent out a fucking room here and just like,
Truman.
yeah,
Love the Truman Show.
we could go by Destin Beach or.
I just think meetup should not be that big of a deal. The hardest part should be everyone's time. And
Yeah.
it should
Yeah.
just be like, what's 3 days?
Nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Mm-mm. I'm down.
Because I think whatever with this channel, I do think this channel has probably made enough money to pay for our streaming service for a year. So now that we've tried a bunch of streaming services, I'm like, okay, maybe we can get this on upgrade or whatever. We like this one though better than StreamYard. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It feels
No
more
filter.
homely to us. It's home.
Yeah, you guys can't see it, but we have our live, laugh, love mat, and it just feels a little more homey.
Yeah, I love it.
Right
Nice.
next to Abby.
Yep.
Can you save us, Britney Spears?
Yeah, I don't know why that doesn't work on
And
the other.
we
I'm
need
like,
that.
that was a sign. If I don't have Juliette Lewis to say, "Can you save us, Britney Spears? Can we be saved?" Layla, I got a present for you
For
when
me.
I see you. Yeah, when we actually hang out again and I see you.
Hmm.
Are you putting concentrate on a joint right now?
No, I'm pilling some castor oil so I can freeze them and
Oh.
take them so they have a slow release effect and heal your body from within. I'm starting it.
I do want you though to do something. I know all the natural ways because I lived all the natural ways for a year. But it is a good thing. This is Miss Patty. This is a Miss Patty thing, my mom. She just believes every woman, every decade, like should treat her body like a car. And just the thing that's been bothering you, get a checkup on it. If it's your shoulder, if it's your kidney, if it's your left eye,
Yeah,
whatever your thing, she just thinks going into each decade, you should feel like the best version of your car.
you're
And you should
right.
have no worries about like, are my tits have cancer in them? Does my, do I, I need glasses or whatever things that people
Do
believe
you
in
think
or
it's
don't
every
believe in.
10 years now, or should be every 5 years with all the fake food and the air and the plastics and the fucking fake fabric and everything being fake?
Well,
You know
she
that
just
time when you
has
feel
a
like
decade
I should go to
rule.
the doctor, but I don't want to? That's probably when.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't
I
trust them.
know, girl. I feel like if anyone you heard me in the other side of it being like, "Oh, I can't. I don't want to." And then when it finally I
Thank God.
it could have you could have pushed me over with a feather. Even though I knew something was fucking drastically wrong. How drastically wrong?
Hmm.
I couldn't have planned for in 3 lifetimes.
Yeah.
Like it was a lot to take in mentally. Like I cannot believe, but I went to the doctor once and the doctor turned me away and told me everything was fine. And because I didn't trust them like you don't, I wanted to trust it so bad because I never wanted to go back. My confirmation bias, even though I knew what I
Yeah.
felt, but my confirmation bias of never wanting to go back was like, I'm just going to trust the doctor. When really, I should have just trusted myself and my body. I knew everything that was wrong with me. Every single thing that I told you guys about years before is the fucking ingredient of my body. I ended up having to get taken out.
Yeah.
So I just feel
Yeah,
like
you
you
knew.
know your fucking body. Don't let the doctors bully you. You have to be your own advocate when you go in. And you just are
Didn't
like,
you
this is what's wrong with me.
didn't you see recently how they diagnosed this woman who was not any signs of cancer in her, and they told her that she had cancer, and they gave
Yeah,
her
but you can't go with some woman who's not an advocate for herself
that's
and
true.
some story about her not advocating for herself afterward and all the bad things that happened to her. You have to be the story of, no, I went in and I told him to check these things. I told him
Yeah.
because if I didn't advocate for myself, I would be dead.
Yeah.
Because they were just gonna, you have diverticulitis. Maybe you ate too many seeds, little lady. Maybe it's your ovaries.
Hmm.
But anyways,
Maybe it's
I got
endometriosis.
sour jack because I know that your
Sour diesel, babe.
is sour diesel. So I
Mhm.
got sour jack concentrate. So when we hang out again,
Oh, hell
it's
yeah.
parent, in the family of your favorite weed strand. So when I saw it, I was like, yes, I will get the sour with the Jack Herrera. You like the diesel, which is more a hybrid. The Jack
I should
Herrera is
start
more a
sending you
sativa.
money to collect certain things for this coming up trip. So I'll start sending you money so we could just like add to
Or
the
just
load.
yeah, or just save it. I'm gonna have like just compile it like you did last time, so you can also leave with.
Yeah, but like I'd rather just give you the money so
You're
we
like,
can
take
start it.
it, get it out of
Yeah.
my hand. It burns a
Yeah.
hole.
Uh-huh.
It burns a
I
hole.
hate doing that. I'd rather just like pay, like here's the money,
Oh, and
buy
here's
whatever you think you
another
need.
little medical tip out there. So everybody knows about CBD. A lot of most people know about THC. If you are falling asleep but are having a hard time staying asleep, and this is your ish, you need to look into CBN.
Ooh, I heard about that recently.
This is THC will help you get to sleep. CBD will be an anti-inflammatory and it'll be anti-anxiety anti-anxiety, anti-cancer, antibacterial, all that shit. But the CBN is going to help you stay asleep. So when you're a person that you get up and you get that busy head at 4 a.m. or you get that like, oh, I went pee and now I'm wide awake, you need to look into CBN, because even if you don't have a card or if it's not legal in your state, it is a derivative. You could probably get this
Yeah,
ingredient.
because it's not a high
Yeah.
effect.
So big up the CBN out there. Out there.
The more you know, Rainbow.
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. That was them trying to turn us gay.
The more you know.
Well, that's what I just read about the eclipse. That
Oh my
was a
gosh.
whole ploy to get us all outside, so that way they could dump shit on us to fucking.
I
kill
know,
our
and it was
fertility.
all, look at every single one of us said we couldn't see the eclipse because it was overcast with chemtrails.
Oh, I saw
Yeah,
mine.
and we knew it. Like we saw
Yeah.
them doing the chemtrails during, and it's like, so that's the truth. They wanted us outside to watch it because there was shit they were dumping on us.
But you know, the more you know how it's like, oh, God gave the earth a rainbow so it would never flood the earth again. Yeah, with population because of the gay fucking agenda. Yeah, there's never gonna be a population problem again.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord. Dude.
Because it just steps in. It once was the when I'm so old, I remember the gay agenda, and now it's just the trans agenda. But soon it will be the pedo agenda, and that's always what it's been about.
I can't wait
Ding,
to talk to
ding,
the
ding.
younger generation when I'm like in my 70s and be like, so do you know what happened in 2020? Oh yeah, no, that's not what happened. This is what really happened. And you just go in your like stories and listen. You know how you listen to old
When they're
people
like,
and their
"Grandma!"
stories? Yeah. And it's like, I can't wait for that.
Grandma Lala, will you tell us a story about how when you didn't wear a mask?
Yeah, these fucking Karens all over the fucking place. Men including. Oh my god, it was sad to see men doing that.
It really made me more gay seeing men do that. I couldn't believe. You know what
Like
turned me on
men
though?
telling me
How
to put
many
a mask on.
moms at like the PTA and the city councils and the school boards were fucking dragons and lions being like, open up that city park and my kids are gonna be in it without a mask. At least in Florida. Like the amount of moms that showed out, I was like, ooh.
Do you know how many men told me to fucking put a mask on? I'm like, you pussy? Are you serious? Like,
Bro, you know
no.
what hurt my heart? The amount of men that fought for this country that told me to put a mask on. That I was like,
What?
what?
Oh.
This is where I love
What?
my kids. My kids were like, I ain't no stinking liberal. They would not wear their mask. It is like,
oh, I
oh,
love
sweet.
that. I love that.
I feel like I would have been a punk rock little kid too and not done it.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been like, I'm not going to school then. My mom would have been like, you are going to school. And then I'd been like, well, I'm not wearing a mask. Because my mom was kind of cool. Since we talked about Left Eye Lopez on Friday, one time in school, I dressed up like TLC for Halloween. And so I wore condoms all over me, like Left Eye. And I got sent to the principal's office. And my mom came in and lost her mind. And
Really?
she's like, because has condoms on her, she's in trouble because she's promoting safe sex. She's in trouble right now. Like my mom lost her mind. She's like, I think she's going to be allowed to go back to class with her condoms on. And then when
Miss
I got
Patty,
home,
you're
like,
cool as fuck.
yeah, she stuck up for me in front of the teacher and stuff. And then when I got home, she was like, "What are you leaving the goddamn house for with condoms on?"
Kick your ass.
Yeah, but that's kind of in the way I will say what's real about my family and how my mom's kind of taught me to be in life is like, if you show your ass somewhere and you're wrong, but I'm your fucking friend or you're my spouse or my fucking family, I got your fucking back.
Yeah.
I'll make myself look like a bigger asshole than you in public. We get home, I'll be like, Layla, you were in this so fucking wrong. I can't believe you did that shit to us. But out there, I just look like a bigger tool than you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that is my goal. Like I am a ride or die to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe she did this shit. I guess we're going down together. I guess we're walking this plank together.
That's what happened last night with me and my sister when we were out with the rest of the group. And just random like hillbilly fucking little Pijimosh is to just push me and my
What's
sister.
pushy mush mean?
I know, I like
Pijimosh.
that.
A
That sounded like
pijimosh.
Yiddish, but better.
It's like a a tiny like a person who thinks they're so big, but they're just so fucking tiny. Like I'll stomp on you, you little pijimosh, like you fucking little, like you little
Short man
disease.
syndrome?
Like no, you little
Parasite.
disease, like you little parasite, little pijimosh. So I see my sister getting pushed, and I'm fucking heated, and then she sees me
Layla's
getting pushed.
gallbladder is like
Pah.
I just whispered that to myself.
pushy mush.
I might remember it.
So she's like, I saw her push you, so I fucking got lost it. I was like, I saw them push you, and I fucking lost it. So it's like, we're doing this, we're doing this, but we weren't allowed to because the fucking security.
Layla, I think you need to do kickboxing or something. You need to go do some. That would
Oh
be
my
so
gosh,
good
if
for your
Layla
gallbladder.
was 20, I would be Layla. Like Layla would be a UFC fighter
Yeah.
because of
Probably.
her build and her length.
Yeah, probably.
She could probably fight at 115 cut weight, and so the fact that she's so tall and her build to be able to like. She would probably like
I'm
I teach her
scary.
jujitsu, and then she'd probably have a 4-inch reach on everybody. She like I think
should
for
do something
myself,
like that, though. You're
that's
right.
probably where we all met in a different life. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I wish I would have. I had a glass nose. I was just I had too many balls at my face. There goes my social life. I broke my
That's so
nose so
funny for
many
a lesbian
times.
to say.
I know. I broke my nose so many times that if I get hit in the nose, it's a gone girl situation. But I wish I could fight in UFC. It would be, or just in MMA in general.
I am 5'10".
Layla is 5'10". She
is
is a supermodel.
Supermodel.
Sure.
She is a supermodel, and she
I
is
love
the
you guys.
queen of the ants.
Yes, the Albanian ants.
The Albanian ants. So right now, if you're joining us, you don't have to be involved in this. So if you're a Christian or if your religion looks down upon this, you can turn off for a second because I'm about to kill Klaus Schwab with the energy
Yes.
of the room.
We are. We're gonna do it right
Yeah,
now.
it's done.
That's it.
And so it is.
And so it is. So
Mission complete.
when he dies, you can all feel like, oh my God, I killed Klaus Schwab.
Yep.
And then you're going to be like, yes, you did. And then you're going to validate your magic because you're a powerful wizard. And we're going to be like, finally, you're here. We've been waiting. That's what I always think with the 100 monkeys of it all. I always think anything I learn, what if I'm the 100th monkey? And so anything I learn that I'm like, and it just becomes what if I'm the person that just learned it and it became the innate thing? Like everybody's been waiting on me. And I will also tell you, when I was dying of cancer, one of the nights that I had my lowest low, worst night of my whole life, like my worst shadow work, darkest night of my whole fucking existence. I totally forgot what I was going to say right now.
It was your darkest, deepest.
Yeah, it was my darkest, deepest thing, but I forgot this. What? I had so many epiphanies that night. Oh, yeah. Like everybody already, you know that when people say we're just here to walk each other home.
Yeah.
And it sounds just like this. Everybody is just put here. Everything is just put here. Every action and everything is just because everything's just trying to get you through another day.
Yeah.
Everything. Like the clicking cogs of everything in existence is just trying to get you through another day with pretty loving gloves.
Yeah.
Every person that meets you, even people that don't know, even the people that you're all mad on the street where you're getting your drivers like angry, like I'm so fucking pissed.
You're speaking Marcus Aurelius. I was reading that today. And most of what we were talking about subconsciously, we already know, but we speak. And most of our conversations were about that, literally in the book, how to be a human, the natural order, and death. And we're all going to be a part of that. How are people afraid of death when that's part of nature? How are you afraid of nature?
And the part that was crazy, this is a weird part. Everybody this is the craziest part. Everybody knows you. Like everybody knows you and they know like deep down everybody knew like I was or wasn't going to die. Like it was or wasn't gonna happen. Like they already knew it. Like their thing, they already knew. And you already know every person in your life when you get whatever news, you find out someone's pregnant or you find out somebody's getting married. It's like, I knew they were gonna get married. Everybody already knows these really big things about everybody else. And it was like this whole journey that everybody's on, everybody else already knows, like, yep, I knew
Yeah.
Chaney was going to do that.
Yeah,
Like,
this is so
that's the
real.
character of Chaney. Like, if you know that character well enough, that's what the character of Chaney does. Like, it's how well you know the character and we're all kind of playing these characters. I don't know. It was like I just laid there at my lowest low and just thought like, holy fuck. Like we're all just like nothing matters at fucking all. And everything matters so much. It was like
Yes.
such
Paradox.
yeah,
Chaney,
that's
I need that flannel. I need one of those flannels. We
my
all need
Beetlejuice
that flannel.
panel.
Yeah, we all need one now because it with that background too. That's got to be a costume one.
I wear this flannel when I want to feel like the Deets. This is the exact flannel he wears with khaki pants. And
The
when he has a
Deets?
T-shirt underneath, Alec Baldwin and Beetlejuice,
Oh
this is
yeah,
his
yeah,
flannel.
yeah, yeah. Yes.
I'm a nerd. All flannel prints have pattern to me, so they all mean something. And it's something, you know how like Scottish and Irish, like the different plaids of the different
Mm-hmm.
tartans, like
Yeah.
all of it means something. And so that's what first made me start getting into flag magic and like every flag and every color must mean something because of how much the tartan plaids all mean on the skirts. And like the same as like Layla says, certain colors in her culture might mean what a woman would wear and if she was dirty or not, or like covering certain parts of herself. Like that's kind of some of like if your family had blood on its hands, it might have a different color in its crest. If your family, like my family crest has greyhounds on it. And I was like, oh, I always thought, how crazy greyhounds. Like
Yeah.
greyhounds. But one of the things that I just think is interesting with my lineage and what my biggest chase is in life is follow the white rabbit. And so that's what greyhounds do. They run and follow a white rabbit. And so
Oh.
I feel like I'm from a lineage where my people, they always wanted to discover this.
Wasn't Britney's post today about a rabbit and sitting in the lounge chair in the cartoon style with the painted finger?
Mm-hmm.
Her posts have been weird recently. Have y'all been paying attention to her posts?
She's doing
Yeah.
meme magic.
She's
I've
doing
been
something.
screenshotting them.
She's doing a spell.
I've got so many stupid Britney posts in my camera roll
She's
now.
connected to all of it. I'm convinced.
Okay, I have another weird thing. I don't know if you guys want to do it. It's called the Delta game.
The Delta game,
The
okay.
Delta game where you take your phone and you open up your photos
Uh-huh.
and in your photo you do 1 year ago today. What was your Delta?
1 year ago today? What is today? April what? Are we in?
We are
14.
yeah.
Okay. Everybody do it.
Do you just type in the date or do you wait? What is today?
It's April 14th.
Oh,
And that'll and
14.
sometimes when you look through it, it'll be like the reason we say a delta for everyone out there is you can call them cute-hearted, you can call them cute kids, you can call them whatever, anons.
this is mine.
A year ago?
Yeah. 2023. No way, I put 11. Excuse me. 04.
I
Hello.
was like, "What? Layla,
Wait a
that's so
minute.
weird." So they would call things delta. So you could look back at a date on something and or numbers and be like, "Oh, today is a delta." So if you have your own deltas in life, if time traveling you is trying to set up like a story or a past, or they say some people work in tarot or some people work in songs. But if the universe is trying to talk to us, and we all have scribes in our hand all the time now, like if we were 1,000 years ago, let's talk to the ancient scribe.
I love it. Mine
So
is
you have these couple of pictures that you might be trying to talk to yourself in a delta, that it's a pattern. So
I have one, and it is John McAfee's screenshot, and it says, "I am content in here. I have friends. The food is good. All is well. Know that if I hang myself, a la Epstein, it will not be no fault of mine."
What's weird is that I have screenshots of this conversation from the Dream Hackers about stopping your internal dialogue. They call it stopping the world. So that's mine. Like my check-in photos, yeah, but like it's all, which is what I was doing today in the sensory deprivation, was stopping the world, like ceasing the internal dialogue. And it talks about all the weird shit that you see when you do it.
What's yours, Chaney?
that's mine.
Oh, cute. I love
Aw.
that. My Maria, Jules. Shout out.
I had no hair there, and I was so skinny. Look how small I am to both those women.
Yeah.
I know.
If you
you
guys
do. You
know
look
me in
frail.
life, I'm way bigger than both those women. It's so funny how tiny I was. And that was my Maria meetup. Oddly enough, that we talked about it now. This is wild. That is in St. Augustine at a My Maria meetup.
Oh, wow.
And we were just talking about doing a random St. Augustine meetup for the Secret Society of Good Guys. So I was super sick, and it was after my hair had fallen out for my chemo. But my Maria, I had told her I was going to do this meetup. We had these big plans, but I ended up getting sick. So I was like, I still want to go. And my wife was like, Are you sure? Are you sure? You can't even be up for like an hour. And I'm like, Yes, I want to. So she humored me, and she drove me all the way to St. Augustine so I could see my bestie and have lunch. And then she drove
Aw.
me home. And then I felt like a garbage for a few days. And she didn't tell
bet
me.
that
She
took a lot
told
of
me so one
energy.
time. So, yeah, I can't believe that was a year ago, y'all. I feel so extra grateful right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's messy, but look at how much hair I have.
I love your
It looks
hair.
great. Yeah.
And you were talking about what are you putting in those capsules again?
Castor oil.
Castor oil.
Castor oil.
Helps
So
grow
I
hair
had no
back.
fucking hair, right? I started putting castor oil, and I put castor oil on my belly button every time I get out of the shower. Ever since I had cancer, I use castor oil. I even have eyelashes. Like, it looks like I have eyeliner on sometimes because of
Yeah.
how much more eyelashes than I ever had. And my eyebrows, they came back like good as a bitch. I feel like better than they were before my chemo. So I think it was the castor oil.
Yeah, castor
So
oil, you put that on your eyelashes, your eyebrows, start growing hair and bald spots. You do the thing where it pricks like little holes in your skin and rub some castor oil in there. You could do a castor oil which I'm gonna do after I get off, like pads, and slather castor oil on it and wrap it with cellophane.
Yeah.
yeah.
Skip your liver.
That's what I'm gonna do tonight.
That's good.
Um,
Yeah, I stuck it in my belly button because it's supposed to be super good for expelling shit, and so I wanted to get all the chemo out of my body. And so it was like, yeah, I bet wrapping it in the cellophane would be extra. I only just stuck it in my belly
Yeah.
button.
Yeah,
They say
that's what I'm
flannel. Take flannel and do it. Like scraps of
Mhm.
flannel and
Oh.
put it, soak it in castor oil, and then wrap it with cellophane.
just leave it there.
And Abby, do you think that thing you were talking about with the gallbladder stones, could the castor oil do the same thing as olive oil?
I think it could.
Yeah,
think it could
I'm sure
too.
I'm sure that's what it's doing. I'm sure that's why they're telling you to take castor oil. But yeah, you can do the same thing with olive oil.
Like, it'll
Lemon
heal your
juice.
insides. It's like so good for you. Black
They
seed
probably
oil
just
with
recommend
this.
they probably just recommend the olive oil because it's gotta taste better than.
That's why I do this in the capsules.
Yeah, I know. I was like, you came up with a good.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And this
how
I got for
Jules
like
does her mushrooms.
$5.
Jules takes her mushrooms. This is here's a little girly Jules tip. So she gets her mushrooms and she grinds them all up and she puts them inside. She got pills, little capsules, and so they're her red pills. And she puts her mushrooms in them. So when she goes on trips with her ladies and they want to do like mushrooms at the Airbnb, and then it's how many capsules they want to take of the mushrooms.
I love that.
Oh, that's smart.
Because I hate the taste of the mushroom. So
Yeah, and she doesn't want to
clever.
heat them up when people are like, boil them. She doesn't think that mushrooms should be at that high of a temperature. She thinks they should only stay at your body's temperature.
Mhm.
So she feels like sometimes when people have like crazy trips, they're maybe taking the mushroom to too high of a temperature than a human body should have it at. Because back when we'd only pull it and then
Well, I had a good experience with that. We just made a decoction where we just where you bring the water to a boil, you put it in there, but then you let it sit, right? For like an hour. And then we added tea bags. So, or while it was still hot, we added raspberry tea bags. So it just tasted like raspberry tea. So good. And
you know what I
best whip I've
heard?
ever had.
Somebody said you take mushrooms and then you put them on ice. They're fresh. You don't dry them out yet. And then you put them on ice. And as the ice melts, it pulls all the psilocybin out and it makes blue juice. And that is supposed to be the motherfucker, but I never done it before. But I think it might be a mushroomy summer. I think I might have a mushy summer. I'm feeling mushy this summer. I was craving
like fun.
tequila a little bit, but I haven't drank since 2022.
Is that
Yeah, I was gonna
ACV?
ask. People have been asking about it. Doesn't it have to be a very
castor oil.
specific kind of castor oil?
Hexane free.
So
hexane
this
like the
is
toxic one.
organic, 100% pure castor oil, Ricinus communis, and it is what is it? Castor oil, it may induce labor, cause diarrhea. So yeah, you can ingest this, y'all. Do not exceed 3 tablespoons per day unless otherwise directed. Our pure castor oil is sourced fresh in its highest quality and grown without the use of pesticides or herbicides, bottled in the USA.
Yeah, Abby said the flannel, and it might be for a reason. Billy Hicks in chat just said she heard that castor oil can absorb plastic, so maybe not good to use plastic wrap. So maybe that's why the flannel specific. Very interesting.
I just know that people with big old stomach tumors and protruding stomachs have shrunk it using the plastic wrap in the flannel.
Yeah, it helps the sweat pores open in your body so it can penetrate easier because of that plastic. There's no room to breathe, so your skin their pores open and it absorbs deeper. That's the science behind it.
If the castor oil eats plastic, though, maybe that's what flannel does separate. It's it still opens up and sweat. You still get the sweat and warmth.
So
and then maybe you put the plastic outside the flannel,
or maybe a heating pad.
Just put the flannel in between the plastic.
Smart.
Yeah,
so that's what you're supposed to do. The flannel directly on your skin.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I put it there and then I wrap it in plastic so it can
check. Okay. I love it. I love group think. Not group thinking, but I love group thought brainstorming. Yeah, I'm we can figure this out.
Mind melding.
We can figure this out without Google.
Right?
We can figure this out without our
intuition. We are the Google.
Google this, bitch.
Google this. I know. I like hanging out with you guys.
Same.
Love it.
I feel like I could hang out again and smoke again. Are you guys have anywhere to be?
I do gotta eat soon. I'm working out at a new gym, which is further from my house now, but it's close to work, so I feel like it's gonna save me time, and it's amazing. I had my first workout there the other day, but I'm gonna be going right after work, so I'm that's when my energy is usually the lowest. But
I'm gonna do an impromptu. I'm gonna do an impromptu commercial for you, Abby. So here's my impromptu commercial for you.
Let's do it.
Are you a fat bastard? Do you feel like you're a fucking loser and you haven't showed up for yourself in years?
Get up, bitch!
Do you feel like you're mentally worn out and no one in your life listens to you and you've become a victim? maybe you need to contact Abby.
Yeah.
Maybe you need a lifestyle coach, a mind coach, a body coach. Maybe you need somebody to teach you how to show up for yourself again and help you set a routine and help you set maybe your nutritional track. And maybe it all just starts with one step and you throw out currency doing all sorts of things to make yourself a fat bastard. But you don't have to be a fat bastard anymore.
Get in
You
my
can
belly.
show up for the community and your community by being the best version of yourself. So you could actually have your dream body. And if it's not your body, you could have your dream brain. And you can contact Abby and you can have a consultation with her and she can push you in the right direction of what you might need. And it might concern some of her services. So for anyone out there that knows somebody who is not showing up for themselves and maybe needs to, you should contact Abby. And that was
Yeah.
my impromptu commercial.
Thank you. I love you, Chaney. She's a good manager.
And if you need like a wake up call, just call, set a timer for it to just call me and be like, wake up, bitch. Get the fuck up, you lazy piece of shit.
That might be
Let's
part
record
of
that
the
for an alarm.
program. Yeah, that's might be what I need. Like it starts out and it's like,
I need it for
Chaney,
myself too.
Chaney, get up. It should be like a minute long. And it should be like,
Yeah, I need it to be
Chaney,
nice at first.
I'm such a
Chaney,
hypocrite.
sweet pea, get up. Hey, cutie, it's time to get up. And then, hey, you don't want to be late. You're going to hate being stressed out if you only have 15 minutes to get ready for work. Hey, wake up, you fucking bitch. You
Yep.
lazy piece of shit. You're not going to provide for nothing. What are you, a teenager?
Oh, I love it. I love
Waste
it.
your
Like, turn
fucking
up.
day.
There goes your shower, I guess. Hopefully you have time to brush your teeth, you scumbag.
Mhm.
Yeah, right. I need that. I definitely need that.
You little fucking hoodlum, get up.
Get up. You wanted to sit on the couch and fucking play podcasts with your friends all night smoking weed. Now you can't get up for work.
Get the fuck up.
This is another thing I do sometimes, but I don't care. Gift giving is one of my, like, I love if I just see something or whatever, I love just getting it for people. Like, money burns a hole in my pocket sometimes, whatever. But sometimes I am maybe that kind of hubby where I might, like, if I brought you flowers, you'd be like, what'd you do? Like, I feel like that a little, but with my, like, boss. So if I'm like 8 minutes late for work, I'm coming with donuts.
Hey, donut.
Like, I'm
Smart.
like the person that
That's why I'm
if
late.
I'm late, I'm coming with gifts for everybody there.
This is why
So
I was late.
I don't ever have the entitlement. You know how, like, when you usually show up late, you feel like you have to fucking lick everyone's asshole the whole rest of the time at work. You just feel like a scumbag because you were 10 minutes late in the day. You're like, I'm so sorry, everyone. I can't even stand up straight or look you in the eyes. I'm such a shitbag. If I bring donuts, I don't have any of that energy.
Like, oh, thanks, Chaney. It's
Yeah,
I might steal
thanks,
that
Chaney.
idea.
You're welcome. I even showed up today as my new energy.
Oh,
Aren't you glad I was late so I could
You-
have these donuts in my hand? Yes.
I'm never late. Do you know that? Like,
I used to not be
ever.
until cancer. Now I'm perpetually late. And I
Yeah.
almost hate it about myself. I'm like, I need to adjust this. This is this new habit I've taken on.
It bothers me so much being late. So I'm like super early because I don't ever want to be late.
It was
See,
my anxiety
I was
carrying that late.
I never cared when I was younger, and then I went into the military where on time is late. So
Uh-huh.
15 minutes is on time time is late. And so
Early is on time.
so then that was a policy for me. I would show up back when I had only 3 kids. I'd show up to my kids' doctor's appointments like half an hour early. They're like, if she's not here half an hour early, then we know something's wrong. But then once I hit 4 kids, I'm lucky to be on time. Like no cap. I'm gonna probably
Yeah.
be late, and it drives me crazy. Well, it did for a while, and now it's just like it's whatever.
I
Like
can't.
it starts when I get the
My
party
whole
don't start till
life,
I walk
My
in.
heart starts to race when I
I
know I'm
was
about to be
always
late.
early. I would be like like I would be this bitch for real. This is old me. I would have to be somewhere at, like, let's say 10 o'clock. And I would set my alarm for like 6:30. You'd be like, Why are you setting your alarm so early? Because I had such an anxiety. I had to keep adding an hour every time I thought about it because I had such an anxiety of oversleeping. I'd get somewhere an hour early always, and then I would just sit in my car
Yep.
and like stew. So then they owned my
Week.
drive time, and now they owned my hour that I was there time. Then they owned my hour of stressing about when am I going to get off, starting to do my and then my drive home, and then they own my anxiety at home. And so sometime during cancer and how many doctor's appointments I had to go to and chemo, and I everywhere showing up my same hour early for a year, hour early, sitting in a chair, and guess what? Doctors don't give a fuck if you're early.
Nope.
They don't give a fuck what time you have to be there. They don't care what your appointment is. That you'll sit in a waiting room just freezing your tits off till for an hour and a half after they. And so I was
know.
everywhere so early for a year that I stopped. And something I regained about myself with time and calendars. And I never want anyone waiting on me. I never want anyone depending on me and like, oh my gosh, something's going to be fucked up because of me. Like, if I'm running late, I did extra the night before. I stayed 15 minutes the night before to do everything so I could have this time in the morning and feel this easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. I am no longer going to let everything dictate any. Like, if you sent me a text before, oh, I have to text you back. I'm going to have to. Now, that's my phone. It's my phone.
Yeah.
I'll use it at my end when I want to. I'm sorry, everyone out there that Chaney, I needed to get a hold of you. I text you 10 times. Sorry. I didn't have my phone.
Not your time.
Pretend it's a wall phone, and I didn't have it in my pocket when I was in my yard. Like, I never have my ringer on
I don't
anymore.
have to be accessible 24/7 just because I have a phone on me 24/7. Yeah.
What up, donut? Wow, again. What the fuck? We're like on like sync today.
I know, we're in
Dude, has there been a whole chat I haven't seen? What the hell?
No, he just came in, I think.
I
Oh,
know.
really?
I just saw donuts, and then I was like, "Oh, what up, donut?" I was look at what I've done since we've been on air.
Donut stickers.
I
Oh,
covered
cool.
my white trash.
I want donut stickers.
I know. And you need a donut VHS. There's the cutest picture inside. This is what I'll show you now. This is behind the scenes. So there, you know this picture on the front.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the cutest though. And the inside is how the picture was taken. Look at Chan.
So cute.
There's a lot of goodies inside, stickers and magnets and things. It is clever. It is clever. It's good merch. So anyways, shout out. What up, donut? It's cool stuff. Everybody could probably order donut merch or follow Donut just in case you don't already at Donut Factory on YouTube. And it's spelled different. So it's spelled like this here. Make sure you follow this person if you don't already. For all the best in Illuminati news. Hector's racist against late people.
I'm racist against vaccinated people. Super duper.
I'm racist against lazy people. If you're lazy, I don't know what it is. I automatically in my head, you fat lazy. Like fat automatically goes in. I never think a person's fat ever. I'll be like, oh, look at that juicy girl. I never think it if she's a hard worker. The second I'm like, you could be Layla's size. If you're lazy, I'm like, you lazy fat piece of shit.
Yeah, fat doesn't necessarily mean fat, huh?
No, it just means lazy to me. Like I'm usually like if I'll be like Lizzo, that fat bitch, because I know Lizzo is not good to work next to. I know I don't want Lizzo on my kickball team.
No. Wait, wasn't there some kind of news with her or something? Like, wasn't she on the news recently, Lizzo?
Oh my God, did we just accidentally kill Lizzo instead of Klaus Schwab?
No, nothing about that. I think, or some other.
Sorry,
never mind. I'm probably getting a mix up. I thought I saw something.
I'm racist
that's when I
against
knew.
Victim mentality. That's my issue. And so when somebody calls me a victim, I get so pissed. I'm like, I'm not a fucking victim. Like, because I hate when people have excuse upon excuse upon excuse, but never want to fix it.
Isn't that the majority of the world?
There's
Yes,
so many victims in the world.
there are
That's what I realized
victims,
about
aren't we
this
all?
the new thing of like shadow work and narcissism and like all these token gaslighting and these words that have come in. These are all words so that new
You can say
words
a
now
victim.
so you can stay a victim. It doesn't mean
Yeah,
that you didn't have to deal with gaslighting or didn't have to deal with a narcissist or didn't have to deal with this shit. But if you notice in the conspiracy esoteric movement of all these woke people, they all are in a constant state of healing, in a
Mm-hmm.
constant state of like, well, one time when I was 12, like, oh, well, one time, just constant validation constantly for the thing. Like, I'm glad you can verbalize this. I'm glad you have communication skills. I'm glad you're healing about it. Don't let it become don't let it become your family crest.
Yeah.
Like, don't let this become your new badge that everybody is like, I think it's awesome. I never want to take away from myself or anyone else with the journey that had to battle cancer. It is not something that I want you to think every fucking time you think of me. I
Yeah.
don't like
yeah,
it. I don't want it. I want it to be one of the things I overcame in life. Just one
Yeah.
yeah.
of the things.
Not your identity, and I guess that's kind of where I feel like, how many people do you meet? Like, this is when I don't like somebody, when they immediately hit you with all their sad story,
Yeah.
because it's like everyone has a sad story, and lots of them like tragedies that have happened in their lives. But why do so many people lead with that? It's because they identify as that, so they are a victim, and then so immediately I'm like,
That's the entire trans agenda. That's the
yeah,
entire pronoun thing from the get. It's such that right at the beginning of I don't have anything else to talk about. It's the exact same people that, hey, Layla, what are you doing? Oh, I'm insecure around Layla. I wish Layla liked me. Oh, Layla said something about Abby once. Abby sucks, huh, Layla?
Oh, I
Like I
hate
have
that.
nothing to add, and I just have to talk about Abby.
yeah.
Like, it's that same kind of shit that where you're like, "Hey, how's the day going?" And then I deal with these people all day. "Hey, how's your day going?" Literally, you guys, I work in a fucking pot dispensary. Like,
Girl.
I don't know where you could be coming that it's like, "You're in the pot dispensary." I'm adult Santa Claus. "How's your day going?" "Meh." Like, it's the best weather outside. It's chef's kiss. You're
Yeah.
in the pot dispensary on a Sunday. What else do you have to do today? Nothing. So you get to go home if you want and sit in the lawn chair and smoke a fucking joint. But instead, all the only thing I've heard out of your mouth is all negative shit the entire fucking day.
Layla,
How?
you should get married. Look at us. We're all got married. Da, da, da. Like someone said, misery loves company. Yeah, you're married. And I say, are you guys happy? Because they don't look like to me. So it's like they're like, oh, married, married, married. That's their trauma. Their marriage is their trauma. So it's like, oh, come join my trauma. Like, you need to
Join the
be
club.
married too. Like, why aren't you
Misery loves
married?
company.
Fuck that. Like Albanian women do this. Like they lost the love of their life because they weren't allowed to marry them. So they live in this misery of like, oh my God, the love of my life. And like married with another man, but they suffer within themselves. Like, don't do what I did. If you love somebody, take it, go after them. I love somebody. I couldn't have him. Big whoop. He has a life. I have my life. I overcame it. It's about the you overcoming that and being in the now and just letting it go. Just like fucking let it go. That ain't you. That's not your story. Like being married ain't the story. Like who are you? Like who is this person? Your marriage doesn't make you you,
It
you know?
doesn't make you you.
No.
That is the wildest part of the journey is like in the marriage of it all, you should constantly one of the rules in my marriage is either me or my wife, one of us has to be chasing a dream.
Yeah.
That's a rule. One of us has to be supporting the other to chase a dream. Always. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what it is. It's like us as a partnership have decided that that's something that's important to us is that we always are scratching a lottery ticket.
Yeah. Or if you both open up a company together, One is doing one thing that has nothing to do with whatever the fuck I'm doing. It has to
I
be
shut
separate.
down my business so my wife could open her company
There you go.
because you can't start two businesses in the same 2-year period of time.
Mm-mm.
It's like there's just things that but she was in love with her business. It was her dream for a while. I was not in love with mine. It made good money, but good money comes from a lot of places.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so sometimes in life, it's like when you have partnerships, it's just like one of you is being kind of like a breadwinner, while the other one gets to be less responsible with that thing when
Yeah.
your partnership's good. And so I think when you have kids added to it, I just imagine when the partnership's good, it's like one of you is making sure that one of you is always there for the kid.
Yeah. Yeah. God, that's crazy. Marriage is a crazy thought to me. It really
Me
is.
too.
Oof.
And I've done it 3 times. What the fuck?
Oh my gosh.
11:47. I just looked
My
at
mom, I know I always think it's so funny because she's been married 5 times and she loves her man that she's with now, and she'd get married a sixth. And my mom's like, I still believe in the sanctity of marriage. And she has only been widowed once.
For me, I think it's a trauma. The control. I don't want to be controlled. I don't want to be told what to do, how to act, because I already know how to act. I know how to show respect. I know all the deets. So for me, it's like if I get into a marriage, I'm afraid I'm going to lose myself, and I don't want that to happen because I'm constantly trying to search for myself always, and I'm not fully allowed to be my full self yet with everything else going on. It'll come. I'm not worried about that, but that's what I worry about the most is like losing my identity of who I am.
And
Because
that can happen.
yeah,
I did
It
it
does
for the
happen.
first time. I never thought I was capable of that as a person. And I think I tried to tell my spouse for a little while, but the business became a bigger thing. Like when you have a business, it's almost like having a baby where that has to be the most important thing
yeah.
now, sometimes instead of your marriage. And so it's like a constant check back of like,
Like I don't want to
oh,
control anybody, and I don't want anyone controlling me. You be you, I be me, but let's respect each other. Can we do
but I
that?
wanted to be a provider and I wanted to do all this stuff, but it didn't make me happy.
Mm,
It filled some things, but I wanted to also be an artist and
yeah.
be like my own Chaney self. And it was like I could put on this LARP and I could show up every day in this suit and I could have this company car and sit at these meetings, but it wasn't my normal
Mm,
thing.
mm.
Like, it was just the LARP of the time, but it was because of, like, the 401k and the white picket fence, and, like, you start chasing the thing that's not really the thing that either of you want, but everything around you starts to tell you it's the thing you want.
It's so weird because we all fall in that trap. It's like, I don't know. And then part of you wants it because you're supposed to want it, but then you realize that's not I guess it comes back around to happiness is never external. It should be what you do now. It's not like a place to fucking achieve. Because when it's always outside of you and it's always like something that you're reaching for, you're always going to be reaching for it. That's the reality of it. Like reality is a mirror. So if I'm reaching for it constantly, that's all I'm going to be doing because I've realized that happiness isn't something that I can have and that I can achieve and that I can have right now.
Mm,
So it's like that's where we're all fucking warped, is that we all feel like, oh, if I do this, I'm going to be happy. Instead of like,
And
I'm going to do this, but I'm going to be happy right now. Like, I'm happy now.
here's the thing I will say about my partner, my wife, that I feel really lucky about is in the world of mirrors that we all are for each other. I feel blessed that the mirror that I get to look into is so kind, the way that it shows me myself back. And
Yeah.
I know because I've seen myself in a lot of other mirrors that the world has been less kind, a lot less kind than the mirror that it has shown me
yeah.
right now. The other thing though that this is the last 3 years of my very long relationship. It's, like almost 20-year relationship. The last 3 years it's taken me to realize in this mirror, also this very kind mirror, this could be the double-edged sword of it. It's harder with a kind mirror to set boundaries for yourself.
It is. Oh yeah.
It's very easy to set boundaries with an asshole. It's very easy to set boundaries with somebody who is so wrong in the universe that you can see how wrong they are. And it's easy to set those boundaries when somebody's pushing you all the time to stand up. But when somebody's never pushing you and you're just kind of slowly being boiled, it's harder to realize the boundaries are there without hurting the person's feelings because there's such a kind mirror.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've learned that the universe has shown me with how blessed I am of my mirror. Setting my boundaries with my very kind wife has shown me how to use my words better with all the other people I love. And learning, like when I hurt my wife's feelings or I make her sad, figuring out how to communicate with her better makes me better for the whole rest of the world. And so that is where I feel like not all the mirrors, some mirrors you outgrow and they're never a bad mirror. It's just you no longer can see. You're like, oh, I can see from my neck to my belly button in this mirror now. I can't even see my head anymore. Like I can't even, like I've outgrown this mirror. And it's not because the mirror is a bad mirror. It's a perfectly great mirror. And some mirrors are fucking cracked and some are fucking like whoop, 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 whoop. And that's not what you at all. You need to get away from that mirror. That's not what you look like. It makes you look like, look at my whole head is huge and my body's this big. No, you need to get far, far away from that mirror and never be by it again. So I do feel like in the mirage of the mirage, the mirror that I've been blessed with for this part of my journey is really great. And that's all. I think anyone the same way you were, like with kids, I think people need to tell kids like whatever you do right now doesn't have to be forever. I think that's maybe some part of marriage where that's what makes the unromantic happen is there seems like, oh, well, we have to do this forever. Otherwise, we have to get a divorce. These words that the government have put on it are the things that make it unsexy. And they are the things that put this like nasty sauce in it because now we have to have the court involved in our kids and custody and get them money and all these things. But if it was just a relationship sometimes that you could walk away from, probably it wouldn't be so sour. But the
I do
government
believe
makes
that.
the sour.
Yeah. The extra entity that does not need to be
That
involved.
doesn't need to be involved at all.
It's just two hearts agreeing like, hey, you are my forever person through thick and thin. And it might get ugly and then we'll have our ups and downs. But are you willing to take that ride with me, like, and not give up? 'Cause
Bro,
people
you just said this. I've always thought 3 entities in the marriage. It's 4 in a lot of people's marriage because they also put the church in it. So now me and you get in a fight. We have to go fucking sit with preacher Abby and she has to listen to us talk about her sex life. And she's never had sex one time except with a little boy. That's a real life fucking shit that goes on where she's going to give us fucking life advice on how to raise our fucking family.
I know, it's nuts. It's like
One,
I've had the
two.
church involved in my sex life. Like, so yes.
What is that like?
Awkward as fuck. I stopped going to church.
Yeah.
How does it? What do you? Why?
Like, what
does
would
the
a
church
conversation
get
sound
Yeah.
like?
Why does the church get involved in one's sex life?
Well,
Like, what do they talk about? Like,
when you start having marital problems and you talk to your spouse about
are
it
you letting
and they
him
involve
put
sex
it
and
in
then
your
he goes
ass?
up and he talks to his family who's very involved in the church but doesn't give him any details, and then they start calling you and like, oh, we talked to the church is praying for you guys, and the whole you're like his siblings want to call you and talk to you and ask what's going on, and and they want to know if they can pray for you, and I'm like, tell the church and everyone involved that this has to do with sex. What I did was say no to sex. It was sex. And I went into full details. And it wasn't really like I'm not uncouth and like that. Like I don't feel like I should talk to people
You're
like
like,
that.
I don't kiss and tell.
And I
Yeah.
don't want your prayers. What kind of prayers are you giving me?
But like my whole thing was like, you guys are making this huge thing out of this, and it doesn't involve you, and I don't need you to pray about it. Like it's freaking personal as fuck. And so, yeah. So then I knew that the church kind of had to know what was going on. And I was like, nah, I'm not going back.
Sometimes a person's prayers I don't welcome. So I'll pray for you, and on my head, I'm like, I rebuke you.
Well,
Like,
because the thing, I go back to the whole idea, like Jesus literally says in the Bible, and I
I'm
quote this
praying
a
for
lot. He
you.
says
I'm
that,
rebuking you.
yeah, I don't know their
and you
intention.
probably should, because the thing is that when if a person prays without like full knowledge that it'll be answered, so if they're not praying, Jesus said, when you pray, never pray in supplication. Always pray in knowing that your prayer is answered, which means that you're not even really asking for it to be answered. You're like just affirming it. So if they're not praying an affirmation in full knowledge that the prayer is going to be answered, then it's almost like a curse.
Like an Albanian woman, oh, I'll pray for you, and I'll pray that your marriage
Like a
ends,
Southern
and da
person,
da da da
God
da
bless
da da
her.
da 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 da. And like,
Like, you can say any insult with God
One
bless
of the
you.
things with that Binks when I was healing that she told me it was really important that I needed to do in my Reiki sessions was allow the prayers in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Prayers are
She
good.
she said that people had been praying for me, even my worst enemy, throughout my whole entire life, and that I'd never allowed any of them in before. And that was very important that I stop in those moments and allow all that in. And your body's like a filter with intention that you can
Mhm.
say, I will allow the best intentions of anyone in. And so even that lady that's like, I pray for you, I wish your marriage ends. You can just have her 1.01%, that one good thought that she even had in her head to even think of you, that like you get that energy only and she keeps the rest.
mm,
Like, but that was like a healing thing for me because I was always like, I don't want your fucking prayer. Don't fucking pray for me. Don't fucking think about me. Like anytime, Chaney, I'm thinking about you. Don't fucking like. I just had this like, but when I was dying, I wouldn't let anyone come see me. I wouldn't let anyone talk to me. I wouldn't let anyone. Don't. It was
well,
like I had to heal that part.
yeah. Well, sometimes it's good to like just allow that other energy just not be around your energy, and let you do your magic for you because you know yourself. You are your, this is your flesh. Sometimes it's good just to like do
I
your
needed
own magic.
them. I
Yeah.
needed them. I needed the same like, I could have done my chemo in a separate room. I did it in a room of a whole bunch of old people. I needed them. Like,
Yeah.
I was so weak. They, like, actually got to watch me go from, like, 115 pounds and, like, plump up, and they got to watch somebody get youthful. Usually, everybody just gets older in the chair. It's old people getting older and old people with they actually got to watch somebody, like, age backward, and,
Yeah.
like, every week, like and so they inspired me because they're all old ass bitches showing up, talking to each other, getting the same treatment I am. And I'm like, I'm wrecked. How am I even going to do this? Blah, blah, blah. But then I inspired them at the end. It was like a full circle thing. And then having all these people around me, like, we're little chickens. Like, we're like, we'll die of loneliness. Like, we need my part of the pack. In my role of the pack, I had never been a weak wolf. I had never been one of the wolves that had to walk in the center for a while. I had never been one of those wolves. And it was a humbling experience for me to have to see myself, not just as like, oh, I'm aging, but I'm an aging woman. I am an aging woman that I no longer am needed in the tribe to be the one to lift the heaviest things and chase the thing down.
Yeah.
In fact, the tribe will be less if I'm the one that keeps trying to take that role. And I need to be a different role in my tribe, but I can't be that unless I allow these people to be around me. And they have to become in the big hippo way of the like matriarch of my energy. They had to feel my energy to know what their role was going to be. And
Yeah.
so it was just like I had to let them around me, but that meant my coward had to allow them to see me weak. And that's usually what like,
I
oh,
get it. Yeah.
like, but the people you love don't give a fuck. They're like, I don't care if you're weak. I
Me,
don't think
me,
you're
me.
ugly. I think it's beautiful you're surviving right now. Like,
Yeah. And sometimes the people you love will make it about them and not about you. And like how whatever you're going through is affecting them, and they make everything that you're going through their thing. And it's like, what the fuck? Are you serious? Like, really? That I do not like people like that. I try to steer away, but sometimes, the ones you love are like family. So do you throw them away? You know?
well, you are your own
Sometimes.
precious baby.
Yes.
You are your own precious baby. And if you're a baby, we always say we wish our animals and our pets could talk to us and have this like clear, you are your own precious baby. So if anything you loved, your mother, your father, your brother, your baby felt the way you felt right now and did for as long as you have felt bad, you would not stand for them not taking care of it.
Yeah.
And so these kind of things as like self-care, where part of healing isn't just saying like I'm fucking healed. It's like actually taking these scary steps, and it might be to a whole bunch of people we don't trust, like the medical system. But
Mhm.
if it was your baby, you might ask other people for help, or might get a CAT scan or with contrast to make sure everything's good in there. And so that was the part of my healing that was such good advice, was I'm my own precious baby. Like I got to take care of me. Like, and I would let everybody hold my baby. I would let everybody, like woo over my baby. So I got to let them take care of me like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you got to get yourself better.
I'm
And you
telling
guys,
you,
yeah.
everything you're saying is in that book, Meditations. All of it, all of this, everything that we've been talking about, I've read today. And I'm just like, but I already know this stuff. Like, we know this stuff. Like, these are philosophers, people who open their minds and open their hearts to themselves, who know this. And it's the truth.
But
Like,
we're all just mirrors of you right now. I'm
yeah,
just you telling it right now to you in a way you need to hear it. You're your precious baby. You need to take care of yourself. And
yeah.
I'm speaking from the other side of something I don't want you to ever have to be at that far of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're out there, you're too your own precious baby. And we love you so much. And if you're not taking care of yourself, maybe you could get help from Abby.
Yeah.
She's taking care of real life precious babies and
She
adults.
is.
She's helping them treat themselves like their own precious baby. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's by having a healthy body on the inside, Layla, and the outside, Abby.
Yeah. Yeah. Because my precious baby is everyone around me, apparently, right now.
Yeah, and sometimes that is how we start taking care of everyone around us, because if we stop for a second and look in ourselves, it might be cancer. And it's so scary to think it might be cancer that we don't want to go get it checked out, because our body fucking told us it was cancer 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Like we already knew. And that is the fucking shit. It's like
Yeah.
everybody knew. The second they looked at you and you gave them a second to look, they were like, Chaney looks weird. Like the second I say I feel weird and give somebody that fucking, now that you mention it, you don't look right. So, anyways.
Yeah. I don't look right today either.
You look
Sunburn.
wonderful.
Sunburn.
That's one of the hard parts too, when you're sun-kissed and beautiful. Nobody knows if you're feeling ill.
Right? They're like, she's so flushed. What's wrong with her?
Like I had a boss, and then if you guys want to, I had a boss once that I walked into work, and I like that. I went to the beach, and she's like, "Whoo, Chaney, you look freshly fucked."
Wow. That's a good one.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, that's perfect. That's where we should just leave it, you guys. I hope you walk into your Mondays feeling freshly fucked.
And looking
if
freshly fucked.
and you looking freshly fucked, wake up 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes early, so you can 15 minutes self-care and 15 minutes get to the place you need to be a little earlier.
Just imagine Layla screaming at you when you wake up.
When you wake up in the morning, be like, "What the fuck, you piece of shit?
Get your ass out of bed.
Get your fucking ass out of bed."
Get your fucking ass out of bed, you bushy mush.
You pushy mush. All right, we love you guys. Thank
Love
you
you
so much for
guys.
hanging out, and
Mwah.
we will see you
Mwah.
Friday or
Mwah.
somewhere else. Okay.
Mwah.
Mwah. Mwah. That's how I should do it from now on. That's how Abby does it.
That's how I kiss.
Mwah. That's how you do it.
Oh, damn. Mic check.
Mic check. It sounds like a cat. Okay, we got to get out of here. Okay, bye.
Save us, Britney Spears! Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
Here comes Santa.
So we explore the view of possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys. Which is where those bigger mistakes, entertaining, calming linguists, good guys. Forum of decorum needs a secretive society to advance on philosophies intentionally, magically good guys, good guys, good guys, good guys. Which is where the mischief making, it's okay to change your thinking, good guys.
This morning, oh, mommy, I got my pasty. Please run to me and let me see. Oh, she's a bunny, y'all. She's a bunny this morning. Come here, bunny girl. Come here, bunny girl. Oh, I'm so